And just like that, the feeling hit Jinfrey again, a powerful, disorienting wave of nostalgia for a place he'd never seen before in his life. But this wasn't some new sensation. It had been happening so often he couldn't even remember when it started. It was a phantom feeling, as if he'd been born and raised right here. His thoughts were abruptly cut short by the receptionist. She offered a quick apology for the delay, then confirmed he was here to get registered with the Adventurers Guild, wasn't he? He drifted towards her desk, numbly nodding in agreement as she began punching his details into the system. And then it happened again, that unsettling feeling that he knew her from somewhere. After a moment, the girl flashed a smile, announcing his status window was now available. A holographic interface materialized before him. Authentication required a wave of his right hand, and as he did, his eyes shot wide open. It all came crashing back. That overwhelming sense of déjà vu finally made sense. He remembered everything. The receptionist noticed the shock plastered across his face and asked if something was wrong, but her voice was a distant echo. A flood of memories, a lifetime of exploring this world flashed through his mind. This place wasn't real. It was a game he used to pour his soul into, a game where he was a top-tier professional player. The world of Grand 7, a realm where adventurers journeyed across 7 massive continents, all in the name of forging peace between warring nations. It was a fantasy kingdom MMORPG, and somehow he was trapped inside it, a reality his mind refused to accept. He had no idea what was going on. Why now? Why were these memories surging back at this very moment? He was just a normal kid trying to become an adventurer. He'd come to this city to earn cash for his family, only to have his entire reality shattered. The world he was born in was just a video game he grinded in a past life. You'd think he'd be spiraling into a full-blown panic attack, but instead a slow grin spread across his face. This wasn't a nightmare. It was the ultimate cheat code. The girl's voice cut through his thoughts, laced with concern. "Hey, are you okay?" He was trembling, completely lost in his revelation. He quickly apologized for scaring her. Then, with a grin, he cracked his knuckles. "Just fired up and ready to go," he declared, the confidence in his own voice surprising even himself. Why did the memories unlock now of all times? No matter how he spun it in his head, the answer wouldn't come. But it didn't matter. With this knowledge, with these memories, he could climb to the absolute top. With a flick of his wrist, he authenticated his account and pulled up his stats. Since his class was still undecided, all he could see were his base attributes, versatile but with no real specialization. The receptionist awkwardly wished him a safe journey. He stepped through the shimmering portal and materialized in a place ripped straight out of a fantasy novel. Standing before the baptismal altar, he was floored by the stunning scenery, noting that it was a pixel-perfect recreation of the game's starting zone. He scanned the main island. This was the hub where groups of 5 newbies always spawned. For now, every event was mirroring the game's script. But he had to remember the new rules. This was his reality. There was no autosave function here. If he died, it was permanent. No respawns. But if he played his cards right using this inside knowledge, he could become a living legend. A grand announcement echoed through the area. The baptism ceremony would commence in 30 minutes. Everyone was instructed to arm themselves. Jinfrey smirked. Yep, exactly like the game's tutorial. He was instantly teleported to the main island, and the other adventurers immediately fanned out, scrambling to find the best weapons. Chaos erupted almost instantly. People started brawling over who saw which weapon first, while others just snatched gear right out of someone else's hands. Watching the pathetic display, Jinfrey recalled that this free-for-all was a programmed part of the experience. It was the forced profession selection system. During the baptism, players were given a limited pool of starting classes to choose from, but the selection was intentionally scarce. And these rookies were practically foaming at the mouth, desperately trying to lock down something that looked powerful. While he calmly assessed his options, some loudmouth who'd been fighting a girl over a spear finally wrestled it from her, shouting in victory. Jinfrey paid him no mind, and this complete lack of reaction seemed to piss the guy off, who immediately labeled him an arrogant prick. Our hero walked over to the leftover weapons, contemplating his next move. His eyes landed on the dagger, and he picked it up without hesitation despite its garbage stats. The loudmouth burst out laughing. "Are you serious? A dagger with 1 attack point?" He sneered, hoping Jinfrey would end up regretting that pathetic choice. Jinfrey just offered a knowing smile. Sure, no adventurer in their right mind would ever pick such a trash-tier weapon. But in this world, the definition of common sense was completely broken. The opinions of these background characters, these NPCs, meant absolutely nothing to someone who knew the game's hidden mechanics. That was precisely why he chose the simple dagger. An amplified voice declared the start of the baptism ceremony. They were given 5 minutes to eliminate as many monsters as they could. On cue, the island was swarmed by giant insects, a specific breed that only spawns in the altar zone, the honey centipede. The MC knew firsthand that their venom was potent enough to take down a player in seconds. The loudmouth shot him a smirk. "Try not to get yourself killed," he taunted, and Jinfrey just wondered what this guy's problem was. He continued to ignore him. The game had NPCs just like this during the tutorial too. The trial began and the monsters charged. Jinfree watched their advance, a confident smirk playing on his lips. Their attack patterns were identical to the game's AI, and that meant their fatal weaknesses hadn't changed one bit. As a centipede lunged for him, he shot it a look, telling it not to get cocky before whipping out his dagger. With a single fluid motion, he cleaved the monster clean in two. A system notification pinged, Honey Centipede defeated. All around him, the other adventurers just stared their jaws on the floor. Our MC had just landed a perfect one-shot kill, and you could see the jealousy burning in one guy's eyes. Logically, a starter weapon that weak should never have been able to kill the bug, but every game has its exploits, and this one was no different. It was a glitch specific to this location. If you nail a honey centipede's weak point with a basic dagger, it's an instant kill. This same exact bug existed in the original game, but only Jinfree knew about it, and he was now abusing it for all it was worth. Meanwhile, everyone else was struggling hard against these weak sauce insects. The spear guy managed to skewer two at once, and immediately started roaring, bragging to everyone about his skills. See that, that's the power of a spearman. MC just shot him a deadpan look, thinking that all the shouting was just painting a massive target on his back. Besides, spearman wasn't exactly a top-tier class among pro players. Right on cue, another centipede zeroed in on the loudmouth. He barely scrambled out of the way, dodging a second strike and flashing a grin at his opponent. He thought to himself that this was way more thrilling than playing the game on a screen. When another bug charged him, he planted his feet, then exploded forward, turning the monster into a shower of pixels. And just like that, the ceremony was over. Now, based on their performance in the trial, they would each be assigned a class that fit their talents. The dude who killed 7 monsters was given a pathetic choice of 3 classes: Hunter, Potion Maker, or Shield Maker. He was visibly fuming, and so was the girl next to him who'd been praying to become a summoner. The guy with glasses didn't manage to kill a single thing, so he was booted from the adventurer program entirely. But that one arrogant dude managed to take down a whopping 15 of the flying pests, landing him the coveted swordsman class. He glanced over at Jinfree, who was just staring intently at his system window, and strutted over to see what he'd gotten. The moment he saw Jinfree's screen, his smug expression shattered. Every single profession in the game was available to him. He had annihilated a staggering 33 monsters during the trial. The swordsman's face went pale as he stumbled backward, stammering that he did pretty well for himself too, managing to become a swordsman and all. MC just gave him a nod, thinking that getting swordsman with only 15 kills was a 2% chance. The guy was ridiculously lucky. In this game, the meta was dominated by 2 classes, swordsman and summoner. So naturally, he decided to break the meta and choose something else entirely. The system confirmed his choice and announced that his starting equipment would now be available. His new profession, Potion Maker, with the special skill, Synthesis. A notification of his choice blasted out to everyone present. They stared at him in utter disbelief. The swordsman actually yelled, "What is he, an idiot? Why would anyone pick that?" Jinfree just gave him a knowing smirk and opened his inventory. Sure, it was a trash-tier profession, but in the hands of a veteran player, it could be game-breaking. He hadn't slaughtered 33 monsters for no reason. He had been farming for specific drops. His inventory now held 5 honey centipede stingers, 9 wings, and 3 vials of blood. All of these were extremely rare materials that could only be found in this one location. The swordsman just gawked at him, totally confused. Jinfree activated his synthesis skill, combining the stinger, the wing, and the blood with his junk dagger. He forged a weapon so powerful it could shatter the world's balance, a dagger called Centipede, rank unknown, attack power, 66, durability, 1,500. It came with 3 skills, 2 of which were locked until certain conditions were met. For now, he only had access to the active skill, Perception, which allowed him to inflict triple damage on an enemy's weak points. Normally, an adventurer's power is dictated by their class and level. Gear is just supposed to be a tool for offense and defense. However, this world had special equipment items so powerful they completely ignored class and level restrictions. Among the pros, these items were known as hidden weapons. With the ceremony complete, he teleported to the first continent, arriving in the city where all new adventurers begin their journey. He looked around with a nostalgic smile, thinking it was just as he remembered. A woman offered him an apple, which he accepted before finding a quiet spot to plan his next move. He had his class and a custom-made weapon. Now it was time to think about the long-term strategy. The goal of this game was brutally simple. Every continent has one S-class dungeon, and the objective is to kill all the final bosses across all 7 continents. To pull that off, he needed to get immensely powerful, which meant it was time to start grinding in a dungeon. Dungeons are ranked with new players expected to start at the bottom in F rank. But since he was no beginner, he bypassed the tutorial level stuff and went straight for the C rank portal, the forest where guardians live, with his sights set on taking down the main boss. The moment he materialized in the forest, a system prompt flashed in his vision. He was locked inside this dungeon. No escape until he fulfilled the clearing conditions. A quick status check was grim. HP at a meager 122 mana. a pathetic 30, and strength, a lowly 21. His defense was 27, intelligence was 30, agility 19, and his luck was a laughable 11. He scanned his surroundings quickly, sizing up the situation. The recommended clear level for this place was between 17 and 30. This was no place for a fresh spawn. To make matters worse, he wasn't even wearing any decent armor. He decided to test the waters and was immediately confronted by a level 17 devil plant. He whipped out his new dagger. A 16 level difference was definitely intimidating, but his gut told him he could end this with a single decisive blow. The system screamed a warning of an inbound attack, and he instantly vaulted sideways, narrowly evading the strike. The monster was quick, but he had already memorized its entire attack pattern. Its vulnerability was the bud. He launched himself into the air, arcing down with his blade and splitting the bud in two. The system confirmed a direct hit on the monster's weak point. His perception skill flared to life. The devil plant was toast. A smirk of triumph spread across his face. In a flash, his level shot up to 10. One plant had just power leveled him maybe a little too efficiently. In this game, your health and mana automatically scale with each level up, and you also get 5 bonus points to allocate. He now had a fresh 45 points to spend, and he dumped every single one into his defense stat. His strength was already solid enough for now. He gave his dagger an appreciative glance. It was the real MVP, jacking up his level and stats. With his perception, skill, and a weapon boasting 66 attack power, B-rank dungeons were now officially on easy mode. But he knew the dagger's true insane potential had yet to be unlocked. He grinned at the thought of what was to come. For now, it was time to grind for some experience. The boss was way out of his league at the moment. Time blurred into a montage of monster slaying, until eventually, he found himself cornered by a trio of level 20 snakes. The spawn chance for 3 of these at once is a terrifying 1%, making his blood run cold. As one snake lunged, he dodged aside, noting they were every bit as ferocious as he remembered. In that split second, a second snake snuck up from his blind spot. He threw his torso back, the fangs missing by inches, and then exploded into a sprint. His mind raced. He had to get it together to shut down the panic. He'd fought these things before. He knew their weak points intimately. He pivoted, charging headfirst back toward the serpents. There was a soft patch of tissue on the neck. A direct hit there would inflict triple damage. He lined up his strike, but one of the snakes coiled around the other, shielding it. The coordinated defense left him stunned and completely blindsided. The third snake seized the opportunity. Fangs sank into his shoulder. He cursed through the searing pain and retaliated with a savage swing, severing the monster's head. He instantly dinged to level 13, but a system warning blared across his vision. His health was critical. He had to get out of the hot zone and heal immediately. A single bite had nearly wiped him out, but he had anticipated even this exact scenario. Pumping all those points into defense at level 10 had been a genius move. He was down to a sliver of health, but he was still breathing. The conditions were perfect to activate his dagger's second skill, Centipede. His agility stat skyrocketed to a mind-boggling 190. This allowed him to effortlessly counter the remaining monsters as they rushed in. The second skill, a passive called Divine Speed, cranks the user's agility up by a factor of 10 when they are on the brink of death. As the monsters' heads tumbled to the forest floor, the system chimed with another level up, bringing him to 17. He glanced at their corpses, muttering, "I'm not going down that easily." After the intense battle, he collapsed under a tree to recover. He let out a deep, ragged sigh. That was a massive experience gain, but it had come at the cost of a near-death experience. It would be smart to restore his health, but doing so would deactivate his insane new skill. Giving up a buff that powerful would be a total waste. He had to ride this out a little longer. Still, it wasn't worth being reckless. He resumed the hunt, but with far more caution this time. He ran into some bizarre-looking monster, which he dispatched with ease. He looked at the growing pile of monster bodies around him and smiled. It was all going according to plan. Killing mobs with this skill active was almost too easy, making the risk completely worth it. His leveling speed was about to go through the roof. After taking down the boss, he'd be able to perform a new synthesis. First on the shopping list was water. Then thorny grass, a large blueberry cluster, a caterpillar skull jelly leaves a blood flower, and finally a chestnut seed. That was a ridiculous amount of ingredients for a simple D-rank item. As he was lost in thought about this, a bear ambushed him from behind, but he dealt with it effortlessly and went right back to his train of thought. The sheer number of ingredients felt like he was playing a cooking simulator, and it was these little things that really killed the immersion. But complaining wouldn't get him anywhere. He had to hustle if he wanted to gather everything before the boss spawned near the waterfall. He found the first 2 ingredients in no time, and then he spotted the third, a huge cluster of blueberries. He smirked, pleased that the grind was moving along so smoothly. Out of nowhere, a voice sliced through the silence calling his name. He whipped around to see 2 guys emerging from the tree line. A jolt of recognition hit him. He knew one of them. They'd grown up in the same dirt-poor village. The guy's face split into a nasty grin. Well, well, look who it is. Jinwoo stayed dead, silent, the name surfacing in his mind, Julius. He could practically hear the guy's thoughts. No way that loser Jinwoo actually became an adventurer. Julius had started his own adventurer career 2, maybe 3 years back. What the hell was he still doing, grinding in a low-tier dungeon like this? The bully scoffed, looking him up and down. Don't tell me you actually picked Potion Maker. That's hilarious. And dude, your weapon is actual garbage. His buddy chimed in. Who's this scrub? You know him, Julius sneered. Yeah, known him since we were kids. His family was the brokest in the village, completely dirt poor. Just ignore him, he's always been a total weirdo. Dad's long gone and his mom's stuck in bed. Damn tough, Break the friend muttered. As they kept talking, Smack Jinwoo's mind churned. Of all the people to run into, his father had died when he was just a kid, and now his younger sister was the one taking care of their mom. Becoming an adventurer was his only shot at making real money. That's when Julius's voice dripping with venom snapped him out of it. Yo, are you even listening to us? We're talking right to you. And what's with that dead-eyed stare? Man, it looks like you haven't gotten your ass kicked in a long time. He lunged forward, grabbing a fistful of Jinwoo's shirt and yanking him in close. Now what should I do with you? He growled. Before he could make a move, a deafening roar ripped through the cavern, forcing all three of them to whip their heads toward the sound. Julius's friend looked up, his face pale with terror. It's a monster, the dungeon boss, a colossal level 31. Cyclops materialized right in front of them. Panic flashed in Julius's eyes as he screamed at his friend. What are you doing just standing there? We gotta dip now. But Jinwoo's voice was grim. Too late. You're already its target. In the blink of an eye, the Cyclops charged, closing the distance on the terrified friend. One brutal swing of its massive club, and it was over. There was almost nothing left. Jinwoo and Julius could only stare, completely paralyzed with shock. Julius's legs gave out, and he collapsed to the ground, a raw scream tearing from his throat. The Cyclops' massive eye immediately swiveled towards him as a system notification pinged in Jinwoo's vision. This monster possessed an all-seeing eye. This is bad, Jinwoo thought, his heart pounding. Fighting a boss with a level gap this massive is basically a suicide mission. Its defenses had to be insane. If he didn't think of something fast, he was going to end up just like that guy. A red smear on the cavern floor. His eyes stayed locked on the club as it hurtled toward him. He dodged the crushing blow at the last second, his mind racing. And on top of all that, this thing has a skill that locks onto a single target. Right on cue, a system window flashed before his eyes. He was now the Cyclops' primary target. With the all-seeing eye, no prey could ever escape its gaze. Realizing he was out of options, he unsheathed his dagger. The Cyclops charged instantly, its club crashing down where he'd been standing. Jinwoo leaped aside, the impact shaking the very ground beneath him. It's anticipating my every move, he realized, but thanks to my divine speed, I can just barely stay one step ahead of its attacks. Hiding in the distance, Julius could only watch his jaw on the floor. Is that really Jinwoo? How is he moving like that? Meanwhile, Jinwoo knew he couldn't win by just dodging. It was time to go on the offensive. He waited for the next swing, then vaulted right onto the massive club. He sprinted up the wooden weapon toward the monster's colossal hand. It roared, trying to snatch him, but he launched himself high into the air, soaring above its head. The monster's neck was completely exposed. This was his chance. He plunged his dagger down with every ounce of his strength, and the moment it made contact, his worst fears were confirmed. 0 damage. The blade just scraped uselessly against its thick hide. Irritated by the sting, the Cyclops swung its club wildly, forcing Jinwoo to leap back down to the ground. Damn, fighting with a level difference this big is no joke, he thought, catching his breath. All the while, Julius was cowering in some nearby bushes. But he hadn't run away. He couldn't look away. How is he so fast? Julius wondered, his mind reeling. Is he using some kind of buff? Jinwoo dodged another heavy blow, a flicker of annoyance on his face. At this rate, I'll never get a chance to craft it. He quickly ran a mental checklist. He had the large blueberry cluster, the thorny grass, and the blood flower. The last few ingredients had to be close. If it weren't for this damn boss, he would have gathered everything by now. His gaze suddenly darted across the cave and landed right on Julius, or more precisely, on the bushes he was hiding in. And there they were, the 3 final ingredients he needed, practically waiting for him. In a flash, Jinwoo bolted straight toward him. "Where are you going?" Julius shrieked in terror. Jinwoo ignored him swiftly, snatching the 3 plants before taking off again. He was in luck. A small underground lake was nearby, giving him his final ingredient, water. Wading into it, he immediately activated his synthesis skill. He crafted an E-rank poison. Once it entered a target's system, it would steadily drain their health every single second. Seeing this, Julius yelled out, "Are you a complete moron? Don't you know Cyclopes have a super high resistance to poison? That low-rank garbage won't do anything to it." Jinwoo just shot him a smirk. "Oh, I know." His real plan was to fuse that new poison with a C-rank poison he'd looted from a snake earlier. He activated synthesis again, creating a far more potent D-rank poison. The bully was stunned by his skill, but Jinwoo wasn't done yet. For his final trick, he synthesized the new powerful poison directly with his dagger. The weapon began to glow with a faint toxic aura. It had gained the poison attribute. Jinwoo gave it a confident swing, a small smile touching his lips, as he felt its true power. Julius was still in shock, trying to process how Jinwoo had just performed 3 syntheses in the middle of a boss fight. Suddenly, the giant's roar echoed once more. It had found them. Jinwoo turned to face the monster. "Sorry to keep you waiting," he said, blade at the ready. "Let's begin round 2. With zero hesitation, the Cyclops unleashed its fury, bringing its massive club crashing down into the water. But when that missed, it just started swinging wildly in every direction. Jinfree was a blur, deftly weaving between each chaotic blow, as he stealthily closed the distance to the Cyclops' neck and let his blade sing. He knew the beast's body had his movements memorized, so he hammered its neck with a relentless barrage of strikes. The venom flooded its system instantly, and a system alert flared to life. The Cyclops was now suffering from severe poisoning. Its health bar was plummeting with every tick. Then abruptly, the Cyclops violently flexed, literally purging the toxin from its body. Our boy didn't even flinch immediately, launching a fresh assault and declaring that he would just repoison it with every single strike. The instant the venom coursed through its veins, the monster would immediately flex and expel it from its system. So Jinfree just kept attacking again and again, trapping it in a vicious cycle. Through this war of attrition, he systematically drained the monster's stamina. The time had come for the finishing blow. He vaulted high into the air, taking dead aim at the Cyclops' massive singular eye. The moment his attack landed, the system confirmed he'd struck a critical weak point, activating his perception skill. An earth-shattering roar of pure agony ripped from the Cyclops' throat, and as the skill sealed the deal, the behemoth crumbled to the ground. The system pinged, confirming the kill and notifying him that a fat stack of experience points was heading his way. Meanwhile, Julius, who'd been cowering behind a tree, stared in utter disbelief, wondering if this was even the same Jinfree he knew. When he saw Jinfree's gaze land on him, he flinched in terror, then bolted, screaming for his life. Jinfree just watched him go before pulling up his status window. He had now hit level 23. As soon as he'd banked those 90 points, he knew he had to allocate them, but that could wait. There was something way more important to do. He opened his inventory to check out the sweet loot from the dungeon boss. He'd scored a whopping 350,000 gold and a D-rank Cyclops Fang. The dude was absolutely ecstatic. He'd already made up his mind to wire half the cash to his mom, thinking to himself how much better it was grinding solo. No splitting the loot, no sharing the glory. He'd finally secured the prize he was after, a C-rank Cyclops eye. It looked seriously weird though. So MC didn't stare at it for long, a grin spreading across his face as he realized he only needed one last ingredient. Then he could finally craft himself some powerful new gear. With his mission accomplished, he set a course for the Flat Plains, a D-rank dungeon. He stretched for a moment, thinking about how well he remembered this place. A player's ultimate endgame is to topple the highest-ranking bosses on every continent. He had to start with the first, but to even stand a chance, he needed a new weapon that was stashed right here. To solve the riddle of the fallen goddess, he needed that Cyclops eye plus one final item, the very reason he'd come to this dungeon. But of course the grind never stops. The instant the local monsters spotted an intruder, they swarmed him. After making short work of them, he pressed forward, filled with a new resolve to wipe every last monster from the face of the planet. He was going to forge a peaceful future for humanity and provide his family with a life of comfort. And once he got strong enough and crushed his goals, he would permanently silence anyone who ever dared to doubt him. After wiping out a pack of hounds, his level shot up again. At the same time, back in the newbie town, the Adventurers Association was making a huge announcement. The #1 topic on everyone's lips was a rookie who had eliminated 33 monsters during his baptism trial. He didn't just pass, he shattered the old record, and the news was spreading like wildfire among the other adventurers. According to the guild's official statement, the guy's name is Jinfree Van Ride, black hair and blue eyes. His current location is the starting adventurer's town. In other news, a group of shady adventurers has been apprehended. They were busted for illegally overhunting cobalt birds. Meanwhile, our MC took down another monster, thinking something felt off. He'd been farming this area all day, and still hadn't seen a single one, even though he'd collected tons of other materials. It was super sus that he couldn't find a single cobalt bird, since they weren't supposed to be that rare in the game. Each continent has 7 dungeons. Their difficulty ranges from F rank all the way up to A rank. There's also a C rank dungeon that's home to a major boss. The birds were supposed to be spawning here in this D rank dungeon. Deciding not to waste any more time, he figured he'd head back to the city to ask around. The moment he arrived, he made a beeline for a shop, only to find it in the middle of being robbed. A couple of thugs were hauling bags of loot right out the front door. They shoved Jinfree aside when he blocked their path, then took off down the street, cheering about their score. He just watched them thinking, are these guys for real? These clueless thugs were so hyped about their clean getaway that they started shoving people, knocking over a woman and her little girl. She went tumbling down a flight of stairs, screaming in terror, but before she could hit the hard ground, Jinfree flashed over and caught her. He shot a death glare at the robbers who were already scrambling away, suddenly terrified of the consequences. The girl's mother thanked him for his help. She quickly started to console her daughter. Just then, the shopkeeper ran up, hissing curses under his breath. That was the scum from the mountain hounds, he growled. When Jinfree looked confused, he started explaining about the new guild in town. This crew had completely muscled their way into the district, now shaking down every shopkeeper for so-called protection money. They'd already cleaned out his entire inventory. He'd also heard whispers they were the ones who hunted the cobalt birds to extinction. And just like that, everything clicked for Jinfree. He was honestly shocked at how fast he'd gotten the intel he needed. The defeated man just let out a heavy sigh. And the worst part, these guys had zero code of honor. They'd have no problem roughing up women or even kids. At this rate, the shopkeeper would have to close down for good. As he walked away, a grim reality hit our MC. This wasn't some street gang. It was a full-blown adventurers guild, gone rogue. Taking on that many people solo was a death wish, but going after innocent people and wiping out the cobalt birds. A fire ignited inside him. This just got personal. He was going to teach them a lesson they wouldn't forget. He immediately bolted after the thugs. He was ready to deliver a few solid kicks when he finally located their den. Inside, one of them was busy bragging to his cronies. He was going on and on about the stuff he'd jacked from the store, saying their boss wanted to expand their influence. Guild of Thieves is more like it, Jinfree thought, his eyes scanning the area. Where were they, hiding the cobalt bird feathers? Then he saw it. As they shifted around their loot, he spotted a crate filled with jars of shimmering blue feathers. He ground his teeth, a wave of anger washing over him. So, these were the scumbags responsible. The reason he couldn't find a single bird. Meanwhile, one of the thugs turned to his pal, asking if he'd heard the latest rumor from the association about some dude who soloed 33 monsters. In 5 minutes, no less. He brushed it off as total BS, just baseless gossip. His friends agreed, but our MC wasn't paying any attention. His mind was racing, trying to figure out a way to get those feathers. Suddenly, a voice sliced through the air from right behind him, a knife pressing into his back. "What do you think you're doing here?" He whipped around, his heart pounding in his chest, and it hit him. These guys must all be thief class, rocking some high-level stealth skill. It's no wonder he never even heard the guy approach. He shot his hands up nervously, trying to play it off. Whoa, man, just passing by. But the thug wasn't buying it. Funny the guy sneered, that's what the last spy from the other guild said. Want to guess what happened to him? Or should I just show you? He flashed a twisted smile and lunged. But Jinfree was faster. He dodged the clumsy strike, his own dagger already out. A quick slash to the leg sent the goon stumbling, and Jinfree followed up with a sharp crack of the hilt to the back of his head. Lights out. The body toppled over with a massive crash landing right on a pile of boxes. The noise brought the others running to see what was up. The moment they saw Jinfree, their faces twisted with aggression. One of them shouted, "We've got another spy from a rival guild." Jinfree immediately tried to shut it down. "Look, I don't want to fight," he pleaded. "I'm just here for the cobalt bird feathers." Then he looked down at the dagger in his hand. Yeah, that probably wasn't helping his case. He went quiet as one of the thugs growled, "You were tailing us." Jinfree's patience snapped. "All right," he sighed. "Looks like talking isn't going to work, so I guess we're doing this the old-fashioned way." The whole crew charged. He effortlessly parried the first swordsman's attack, and countered with a brutal blow straight to the guy's face. The man clutched his bleeding nose, screaming that he'd broken it. "Don't be so dramatic," Jinfree shot back. "If I don't take care of you quickly, your backup's gonna get here right." Fighting a whole mob by himself was getting real annoying. Another one jumped him from behind, calling him an idiot. Jinfree instantly dropped low, and launched a powerful kick into the guy's chest, sending him flying. Before he could recover, another thug charged his spear, aimed to kill. Jinfree grabbed the weapon's shaft, stopping the charge dead in its tracks, then slammed his fist into the man's gut. The system lit up. He'd struck a vulnerable point, activating his perception skill. Feeling the overwhelming wave of pain from his opponent, he actually felt a little bad. "Oof, my bad," RMC muttered, just as another goon came at him screaming a string of curses. Jinfree ducked under the wild swing and slammed the pommel of his blade into the man's lower jaw, dropping him to the floor instantly. He sighed. This is exactly why he didn't want to fight. All this chaos, when all he ever wanted were some feathers. He was so lost in thought he almost didn't notice the man sneaking up from behind. This one was smart, no battle cry before the attack. But our MC is no rookie. His instincts flared and he spun around just in time to block the blow. The man noted his skill. "Not bad," he smirked. "Not many can parry that sneak attack." Jinfree stared him down wary. That stealth skill again. And then he recognized him. This was the same jerk who had pushed that girl out of his way before. The man took a step back, puffing out his chest. "I am the deputy head of the Mountain Hounds, Soubi Musou." Ever heard the name? Jinfree gave him a blank look. Nope. Should I be impressed or something? That lit a fuse. The man flew at him in a rage. Now I remember you. You're the one who got in my way that day. I should have dealt with you then and there. As Jinfree easily deflected the furious attack, he noted just how much stolen gear they really had. Rocking a legendary weapon but can't even afford a decent set of armor, the guy just smirked, boasting that he wasn't even 20, and was already a seriously skilled fighter. He insinuated Jinwoo just got lucky with a good drop. He kept trying to throw him off, with a barrage of questions dismissing the weapon as just a shiny trinket. It's all about the player's skill, he lectured. Like Jinwoo didn't already know that. Jinwoo shot back a sarcastic reply, and Su lunged forward with another attack, which our hero dodged without breaking a sweat. The guy was clearly sizing him up. I can already tell what class you picked. Just by looking at you, he scoffed. That's the starter gear for a potion master, isn't it? Your class is absolute garbage, he sneered, but that weapon is insanely rare. It's the only reason you're still on your feet. The threat was clear. This guy wanted to loot his weapon. Jinwoo's eyes narrowed as multiple daggers materialized in the air around him, shimmering with deadly intent. You've never actually fought another adventurer, have you? He asked, leveling all 3 blades at his opponent before launching them. The man swung his own weapon in a blur, deflecting every single dagger. Su gloated that in these fights, victory belongs to whoever figures out their opponent's class first. Your only skill is some kind of synthesis, he deduced. I've got you beat on raw power. But you, I don't even know what your real class is. Jinwoo calmly asked if he was a thief, and the guy immediately activated a stealth skill. The dude totally lost his cool that he got called out so easily. He instantly started denying it frantically, claiming he was actually a summoner. His panicked reaction basically screamed, "Yes, I'm a thief." Jinwoo figured fighting against a stealth class would be a massive pain in the neck. He couldn't afford to hesitate. Without another thought, he surged forward to press the attack. But before his blow could land, 2 more figures shimmered into existence right behind him, their blades already descending. He realized they'd used stealth to sneak up on him. He immediately twisted his body, desperately dodging their coordinated assault. He needed to create some distance, and in a chaotic scramble, the hilt of his dagger accidentally slammed right into the deputy leader's groin. A system notification flashed, "Critical hit. You have struck the opponent's most vulnerable point." Perception skill activated. The guy was hit with a wave of unimaginable agony. He let out a blood-curdling scream, so loud it shattered the windows in the nearby buildings, before he collapsed completely unconscious. His buddies rushed over to him in a panic. The sight of their friend, with his eyes rolled back, foaming at the mouth, sent a chill down their spines. Jinwoo offered a not-so-sincere apology, claiming it was an accident. Then he slowly walked towards them, his voice dropping low. "This fight isn't over yet. If you don't want to end up like him," he warned, "give me the cobalt bird feathers. Right now." Terrified, the guys scrambled for the box of feathers. But just then, a whole mob of reinforcements arrived, led by the first guy who started all this. He pointed a shaky finger at Jinwoo, yelling, "That's him. He's the one who attacked us. He's definitely a spy from a rival guild." Our hero just sighed nervously, trying to explain that they had it all wrong. But it was too late. The entire angry mob drew their weapons. One of them snarled, "You've got some nerve attacking the mountain hounds." His buddy then spotted the body on the ground, foaming at the mouth. His eyes widened in horror when he recognized the deputy leader. "What happened to him?" he screamed in a panic. But the deputy leader was out cold, giving no response. One of the guys gasped, "I can't believe he actually took down Su," but his friend immediately shot back. "No way, that's impossible." "He was probably drunk again," the friend insisted. "That's the only way he could have lost. No one could beat him when he's sober." Jinwoo just gave a nervous smile. He thought to himself that the guy definitely hadn't been drinking. He was just way too arrogant for his own good. Finally, the guild leader pushed through the crowd. He'd come to investigate the commotion, and his members immediately swarmed him, all talking at once. Meanwhile, Jinwoo was sizing up the newcomer, wondering if this was really the leader of the guild. The man demanded to know who attacked his people. His subordinates all pointed at Jinwoo. It was him. He even took down Su. The guildmaster gave Jinwoo a long, calculating look, sizing him up from head to toe. "My guys can be real jerks sometimes," he admitted. "But what could you possibly have against another guild to beat them up this badly?" When Jinwoo explained he wasn't part of any guild, the man just smirked. "So, you're telling me you took down my whole crew by yourself?" After Jinwoo confirmed it, the guildmaster let out a huge laugh, and to everyone's shock invited him to join their guild, leaving Jinwoo completely stunned. The other members started shouting at their leader, clearly furious with his decision. "Look," he said, silencing them, "normally I'd beat you to a pulp and make you apologize. But any guy who can take down Su is someone I can't afford to let walk away." He strolled over and threw a friendly arm around Jinwoo's shoulder. "What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Are you that happy you can't even speak? Let's all go grab a drink," he declared, to celebrate you joining the guild. But Jinwoo had finally had enough. He aggressively ripped the man's arm off his shoulder. "Are you kidding me?" he snarled. "I only came here for the cobalt bird feathers. Who in their right mind would want to join a third-rate guild like this anyway? Now, if you're done wasting my time, just give them to me. Just fork over the feathers and I'm out." But his jab about their third-rate guild struck a nerve. The leader's face twisted with rage. "What did you just say to me?" Without missing a beat, he doubled down, calling their guild exactly what it was: third-rate. A crew that only preys on the weak because they'd get crushed by anyone actually strong. In a blind fury, the man lunged, swinging his massive weapon. Our MC vaulted sideways a split second before the crushing blow slammed into the ground, leaving a deep crater in the stone floor. The man was absolutely livid, but through his rage, he admitted Jin Free was the first person to ever evade his strike. He wasn't going to kill him. Oh no, he was going to beat him half to death and then sell him to the highest bidder. Jin Free's mind raced. That devastating power. This dude was no common thief. And just like that, the fight reignited. The guild leader charged again, but our boy moved like a phantom, always just out of reach. He created distance thinking fast. He couldn't afford to show off his real professional skills here. This needed to end, and it needed to end now. He shot forward, ducked under a wild swing, then teleported behind him and delivered a sharp, precise blow. The man frantically checked the point of impact, but his face contorted in confusion when he found no wound. The strike was powerful, no doubt, but Jin Free had hit him with the flat of his dagger. Our MC just stood there watching, waiting for his opponent's next move. With a grimace, the man sheathed his weapon. That's when Jin Free's theory clicked into place, just as the guy activated the skill Massacre, a terrifying ability that doubled his attack power for 3 minutes. A fighter, of course. Seeing this, the guild members roared with excitement, cheering their leader on. The man glared, his eyes burning with intensity, before launching himself forward, his bare fists aimed to kill. But the punch intended for Jin Free's face slammed into the wall behind him, a testament to his insane reflexes. This was getting dangerous. One clean hit from that skill, and he was toast. No respawns. Suddenly the fighter was on him again, a fist screaming towards his head, promising oblivion. But Jin Free was faster. He raised his dagger high, then brought it down in a blur, striking his opponent's vital points for a massive damage multiplier. The guild leader crumpled to the floor out cold. His subordinates stared, their jaws hanging open, their minds struggling to process what they'd just witnessed. "Wait a sec," someone whispered. "Isn't that the new guy from the news?" The description matched perfectly. Basic potion maker's robe, black hair, and those unmistakable blue eyes. A wave of panic washed over them. "It can't be," they shrieked. "That's blue-eyed Jin Free." Jin Free opened his mouth to say something, but the entire crew was already scrambling, running for their lives. He just stared after them, completely baffled. How did they even know his name, and were they seriously just going to ditch their unconscious leader like that? He scratched the back of his head, confused. Whatever, dude. All he came for were the feathers after all. Time to make a return at the store. After that, he warped to Sigrun Falls, a B-rank dungeon. He took down the dungeon boss, a level 35 Baphomet. But honestly, he was a little underwhelmed. That Cyclops fight was way more intense. Now, it was finally time to visit the fallen goddess. He walked up to her enormous statue, gazing at the empty socket where her eye should be. Solve the riddle, claim the loot. He pulled the Cyclops eye and the cobalt feather from his inventory. "I'm here to help you get back what you lost," he murmured. It didn't take a genius to figure out what was missing. Sure, plenty of players probably guessed that the giant eye went into the giant eye socket. But the real 500 IQ play was spotting the tiny gap in one of her stone wings, the perfect place for the cobalt bird feather. The moment he placed it, a system message popped up. The fallen goddess's wish has been fulfilled. The statue began to glow with an ethereal light. A single tear of light fell from its eye, and the system announced that the goddess couldn't hold back her tears of gratitude. As if guided by fate, the tear landed directly in a golden goblet at the statue's base, and from it emerged the second secret weapon, Lucifer's celestial halo. This thing was absolutely busted, increasing luck by 100 and durability by a staggering 2,000. The first skill was a passive mind reading. The second passive was tyrannical sense. With it, he could pinpoint any living thing within a 5-kilometer radius. The third skill was still a mystery, set to unlock only under specific conditions. Jin Free held the halo, a grin spreading across his face. Yeah, this was not an easy get. He gave a small nod of thanks to the goddess and equipped the halo. It shimmered into existence right above his head. He immediately felt like he was dead. He waved a hand through it, annoyed. He was trying to keep a low profile, and walking around with this thing would make him look less like a cool adventurer and more like a total weirdo. But since he'd gotten the weapon, it was time to hit the S-rank dungeons. He arrived at the imposing gates of the Agni Volcano dungeon only to find a problem. This was the big leagues. The guild rules were clear: you needed a party of 7 people to even think about entering. So now he had to go group finding. After you clear an S-rank dungeon, the main demon boss can respawn anywhere else on the map. But clearing your first one nets you a title, which is basically a golden ticket to the second major region of the game. He was eager to get there as soon as possible, but his thoughts were shattered by hushed, awestruck voices behind him. One adventurer nudged his buddy. "Dude, look over there." The air crackled with the energy of a fire mage party. Jinwoo's head whipped around, his interest peaked, and his eyes locked onto Freyna Ashbury, a level 45 adventurer rocking the mage class. He instantly fired up his mind-reading ability and was hit with a tidal wave of pure desperation. She was hell-bent on tackling an S-rank dungeon, but her crew was short one fighter. A smirk played on his lips. The halo was already proving its worth. At that moment, the girl shot to her feet, announcing to her group that she'd made up her mind. They were calling it a day. That was Jinwoo's cue. He slid over, a confident grin spreading across his face. "Looks like you guys are a man down," he said smoothly. "I'd like to join." Every single one of them immediately zeroed in on the halo floating above his head. He saw it and gave a wry smile. Didn't even need mind reading for this one. He could feel them silently clowning on him. The dude in her party shot him down, saying he had no idea where he got that impression. But they were done recruiting for the day, so he should probably go find another squad. But switching on his mind reading, Jinwoo picked up a completely different vibe: intense anxiety. The guy was stressing about their teammate, the one who was currently laid up in a hospital. It became clear their last mission went south, leaving them short-handed for the big dungeon dive. Jinwoo's eyes flickered to the girl. "I'd rather hear it from the party leader herself," he stated, noticing the worry etched on her face. If she was this desperate to get into the dungeon, why was she shutting him out? She snapped back that it was none of his business, and he felt that uneasy vibe again. He tuned in deeper. She was consumed with worry for her father, who'd vanished into an S-rank dungeon a month ago. His entire party just disappeared, and just like that, it all clicked. She was worried about Jinwoo's safety too, taking one look at the newbie halo and writing him off as another casualty. He knew the look. It was pity. Steeling himself, he spoke up. "My apologies, I should have led with this. My name is Jinwoo, and I also have business in that S-rank dungeon." The name instantly rang a bell for the girl, and the guy from her crew's jaw hit the floor as he pointed. "Wait a minute," he gasped. "Is that the Jinwoo from the news, the rookie who slayed 33 monsters in his baptism trial? But he doesn't look that tough. This has to be a mistake." Jinwoo just smirked again, and it all made sense. He was trending on the adventurer newsfeed. He hadn't realized he'd made such a splash. Freyna, meanwhile, was wrestling with her thoughts. Was this a fluke, or did it seriously feel like he was reading her mind? She's not the type to buy into hype, but this guy's aura was something else. He carried himself like he'd already stared into the abyss of this world, and knew exactly how to handle it. It gave her a strange buzzing feeling. At that very second, a system window popped up for Jinwoo. Freyna was experiencing a thrill. A surge of pure excitement and anticipation was coursing through her as she looked at him. His eyes met hers, and she made her decision. "You're in." Her teammates were completely floored. She rose from her seat and strode toward the gate. "But if you slow us down," she warned, "we'll leave you behind without a second thought." Jinwoo was ecstatic. Everything was falling into place. He was finally going to get inside that dungeon. Moments later, they were standing inside the dungeon on the edge of a blistering volcano. And of course, they shoved Jinwoo to the front of the formation. The classic meat shield position. The perfect spot to be a monster's first snack, while the leader herself hung back safely. One of the party members leaned over to the leader, whispering, "Are you sure about this? I don't trust this guy." She told him to chill out. "The plan is simple. Point him toward the danger. If things get dicey, he's the bait." The guy marching behind Jinwoo called out to him, "So, are you for real, that dude from the news?" Since Jinwoo hadn't actually seen the report, he just scowled, not knowing what to say. The system pinged him instantly. "Arthur is feeling conflicted and has zero trust in you." His buddy scoffed. "Don't believe every rumor you hear, man. Does he really look like the guy from the news?" A halo doesn't exactly scream legendary warrior. Jinwoo's patience was wearing thin. This halo might look ridiculous, but its utility was off the charts. Just then, its second skill flared to life, detecting a sinister surge of magic. He felt it, a horde of monsters descending from the mountain peak heading straight for them. It couldn't be. He spun around to face the team. Mage's defensive barriers, now, he commanded. They just stared at him confused until he yelled, "Move it!" The volcano was about to blow. The dude shot him an annoyed glare, but then the ground began to tremble, and they knew he was right. Jinwoo shouted over the roar, "Get a move on, the whole place is coming down. Look out, falling debris." The annoyed guy instantly cast a reflection spell, throwing a shimmering dome of protection over their heads. Jinwoo sized up the situation, a literal meteor shower of rocks. They'd have to ride it out. "Everyone, hold your ground," the squad leader ordered. Then she stepped forward, chanting "Meteor Breeze" as a colossal fireball ignited above her head. With a powerful swing of her staff, she launched the searing orb into the cascade of falling boulders, blasting them out of the sky to protect her crew. Jinwoo watched her impressed. He made a mental note, a fire elemental who could effortlessly counter a rock slide that massive. But just as the thought crossed his mind, the ground beneath them shattered. Model. The ground suddenly splintered open, and Arthur plunged into the chasm, but MC lunged forward, snagging his hand at the last second. Arthur's eyes widened in sheer terror as he stared down into the endless black. Just then, The very rock Jinfrey was clinging to crumbled beneath his weight, sending both of them hurtling into the abyss. By some insane stroke of luck, something soft broke their fall. Turns out a colossal, fluffy bat was just chilling at the bottom of the cavern. MC heaved a sigh of relief, thinking they seriously lucked out. As a bonus, the halo pinged, adding a clean 100 points to his luck stat. But their living cushion was not happy about the rude awakening. The second the monster glared at them, Jinfrey knew they had to bounce. Now, the moment they scrambled off its back, the bat flew into an absolute rage. MC yelled that the creature absorbs any attack thrown at it, and just reflects it back at the attacker, so they needed to be smart about this. I know that, Arthur shot back annoyed, but MC cut him off, warning, it's about to attack. The bat then let out a deafening shriek. In a blur of motion, Jinfrey lunged at the kid, tackling him out of the way just as a deadly spray of rocks slammed into the spot where he'd been standing. He then shoved Arthur hard against the wall, his voice dripping with irritation. I told you to be more careful. Unless you actually want to die in here, he snarled already, bracing for the monster's next move. Arthur stared at the fresh crater in the stone, realizing with a cold dread that if Jinfrey hadn't pushed him, he would have been turned into a human pancake. And this monster wasn't even an S rank. As the bat charged them again, MC whipped out his dagger. He dispatched the beast in a single fluid motion. Arthur could only stare in total shock, his mind screaming, did he just one-shot that thing? Far above, Freyna was channeling her magic into the rift, checking for vital signs. Her comrade asked anxiously, what do you see? He's fine, she breathed out, relief washing over her. Arthur's alive. Her thoughts drifted to Jinfrey. That strange guy. He took a huge risk just to save him. She also recalled he was the first to feel the earthquake. Her squad mates started saying they were going down there too, but she shot that down immediately. No, we have a battle waiting for us. We can't afford to waste our strength on that. Our goal is to slay the demons and bring peace back to the continent. We press on to the summit. We'll meet up with them along the way, so don't sweat it. Arthur is my little brother, and I trained him myself. But inside, she was a wreck, silently pleading for him to reach the top safely. She also prayed that her father was holding up okay. Meanwhile, back in the cavern, MC learned that the squad captain was none other than Arthur's older sister, and that their entire party was here searching for their father. He gave a mental shrug and decided it was time to move on. Arthur jogged to catch up, yelling, hey, where are you going? The demon is at the top of the mountain, remember? Jinfrey stopped and turned to him. Are you really planning to fight a demon of that level? You got a death wish or something? The kid fell silent. I'm heading to the monster's lair, he stated flatly. The system notified him that Arthur was experiencing a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. The kid was desperate to get stronger. Jinfrey saw his opening and said, if you want real power, you'll follow me. When they finally reached the monster's nest, Arthur laughed nervously. So, this is where all the evil spirits come to party, huh? They were completely surrounded by a massive flock of level 41 phoenixes, which was enough to make anyone's blood run cold. He scanned the area, thinking that their levels were way higher than that downy bat's. At that moment, MC drew his dagger. He exploded into action, carving a path through the fiery birds, while Arthur watched, completely stunned. He thought a one-on-one is one thing, but against a whole flock, this is suicide. Just then, a phoenix dive-bombed him from behind. He saw it just in time and dropped to the ground, dodging a blast of searing flames. He sprang back to his feet, pulling his own dagger. The phoenix flew high into the air, circling above him. Realizing close combat was a no-go, he pulled out his bow and arrow. Finding the perfect opening, he let an arrow fly, nailing the phoenix right in the head. He then yelled over to Jinfrey, you don't have to worry about me. I can definitely handle myself one-on-one. He turned to check on him, and was to put it lightly, completely floored by the sight of Jinfrey standing in a massive pile of dead phoenixes. In the time it took Arthur to deal with a single bird, Jinfrey had already wiped out the rest, and was roasting some of the meat over a fire. Arthur stared in disbelief. No way. Did he already take care of every other monster here? MC just kept on eating. It tasted like chicken, but suddenly his stomach lurched. Apparently he'd eaten too much, and it didn't even grant any buffs. At that exact moment, his detection skill flared, warning him of a massive wave of magic power headed their way. Shoving one last piece of meat in his mouth, he turned and thought, are you serious? Why now? A level 45 salamander, the main boss of this entire dungeon, emerged from the darkness. Jinfrey was clearly not expecting this. He felt incredibly sick, his stats started dropping, and he threw up. Arthur rushed over, yelling, dude, what's wrong with you? Wiping his mouth, MC warned him, stay on your toes. This monster powers up by devouring people. Those birds were nothing compared to a salamander. Arthur barely parries the crushing blow, but a nasty gash is still ripped across his arm. Jinwoo yells out, his voice tight with concern, asking if he's alright. Arthur just coughs up a spray of crimson, admitting the beast is on another level. Stepping in front of him, our MC's eyes narrow. I'll handle this. You just find a place to hide. Now. The salamander is already drooling, a thick ooze dripping onto the floor, no doubt imagining how it's going to devour its next meal. Jinwoo smirks. What, this one has an upset stomach too, doesn't look like anything else could fit. Just then, the monster starts to heave violently, and he wonders if it's actually sick. And yup, there it goes, spewing a torrent of foul-smelling bile, filled with disgusting clots, human bones, and even glimmering treasure. And in the middle of it all lies a single sword, a blade, that Arthur instantly recognizes as his father's. Before he can even process the horror, Jinwoo decides to end this before he hurls too. The boy collapses to his knees, whispering that the armor and the blade belong to his dad. The system pings, informing Jinwoo that Arthur is now consumed by rage, his only desire to avenge his father and slaughter the salamander. The kid's face contorts in fury as he glares at the beast, vowing to kill it for what it did. He snatches his father's weapon and charges in blindly. "Wait," Jinwoo shouts, a knot of dread tightening in his stomach. This is way too reckless. A single lash from the salamander's tail sends Arthur flying, but the kid is relentless. He staggers to his feet, screaming that he'll kill it, but before he can launch another suicidal attack, our MC tackles him to the ground with a roar. "Didn't you hear me?" he bellows. "I told you to wait." Arthur thrashes wildly, screaming for him to let go, but Jinwoo pins him down. "Are you trying to die? You can't defeat that thing alone," Arthur spits back. "How would you know that?" Jinwoo yells. "Are you out of your mind? What about your family? What's going to happen to them if you die here too?" Those words finally cut through the rage, and Arthur's frantic struggles cease. Finally, Jinwoo says, his voice softening just a bit. "This isn't an enemy you can face head-on by yourself." The boy's shoulders begin to shake as he breaks down in tears. "I know that," he chokes out, "but that doesn't mean I can just walk away. My father is dead." The system alerts Jinwoo that Arthur's rage has turned inward, furious at his own powerlessness. He gets off him, murmuring an apology for shouting. He glances back at the looming salamander. "You're a hunter, aren't you? Not exactly the ideal class for a tank and spank. Do you have anything useful in your inventory?" Arthur wipes his eyes, replying that all he has are arrows, some healing potions, and downy bat hair. That last item catches him by surprise. He definitely didn't pick that up. A small smile touches Jinwoo's lips. "That would be the passive skill from your hunter class. A good hunter never leaves useful materials behind." "Right," Arthur is still confused, but Jinwoo cuts him off. "We can talk about it later. For now, listen to me. I've got a plan. The two of us are going to finish this salamander. This stays between us since this monster is a seriously tough opponent. We're going to need to use stealth." They both get into position, and as the salamander begins to shamble towards them, Jinwoo gives the order. "Hit me with a buff." The kid mutters an incantation, and a surge of power flows into Jinwoo, a battle inspiration effect, which will hold for 5 minutes. In that time, his muscle strength and speed are jacked up by 30%. The salamander senses the power shift and lets out an agitated hiss. Arthur holds up a clump of bat hair. "We're using this later, right?" Jinwoo confirms it with a nod. "Thanks for the buff. My stomach's feeling a whole lot better now. Just follow my lead." With that, he explodes into action and the salamander braces for impact. His dagger flashes. He knows the monster has a ridiculous amount of health, so he needs to stack as much damage as he possibly can, as fast as he can. He weaves in and out his poisoned blade, striking true over and over, the venom instantly taking effect. The plan is simple. He keeps the monster distracted, while it's fighting off the poison, giving Arthur the perfect opening to strike. An arrow whistles through the air, embedding itself in the monster's head. Jinwoo shoots a look at the boy, sending a mental message. "It's your turn. You have to hit its weak spot, the forehead." Man, it's a good thing he brought him along. Making a shot like that from this far away would have been tough. Arthur is already knocking more arrows, taking aim, and as Jinwoo poisons the salamander again, he lets fly a volley straight into the creature's skull. It lets out a choked, gurgling roar, a clear sign that their strategy is working. And then the monster enters rage mode. Now the beast's stats have spiked by 30%. The flames wreathing its body burn hotter, the waves of heat even reaching Arthur's position. At that exact moment, our MC rushes back into the fray. He smirks, thinking that while all of the salamander's stats are boosted, this is precisely where the bat fur will come in handy. As the salamander's tail whips around to crush him, he shoves the clump of fur forward, blocking the massive blow. He grins. "Good thing we were prepared." In this enraged state, its weak points have changed. It's not the forehead anymore. Now it's the front legs. He had already briefed Arthur on this part of the plan. And right on cue, Arthur aims directly for that spot. The instant an arrow pierces one of its legs, Jinwoo's dagger flashes, severing the other. The poison spreads like wildfire through the monster's system. A system notification flashes. Mind's Eye has been activated. As the monster lets out an ear-splitting shriek of agony, they descend on it, a whirlwind of blades and arrows from all sides. Victory was in their grasp. The colossal salamander teetered on its last legs, and Arthur, sensing the shift, ceased his relentless assault. Our hero closed the distance, noticing the inferno that once cloaked the beast had dwindled to a mere flicker. This creature was hovering on the edge of oblivion, but if it managed to siphon the surrounding flames, it would kickstart a terrifying regeneration. Right on cue, a system alert flashed, self-resurrection mode activated. The salamander's health bar began to slowly tick upward. The flames around it roared back to life, and a cold dread washed over Arthur. This fight was far from over. If that thing fully recovered, there was no way they could put it down in the next 5 minutes. They had to end this now. He took aim, shouting a warning to Jinfrey, who just glanced at the raging monster and cracked a smile. Bet, he said, already charging in. Let's finish this oversized lizard for good. The salamander lunged. Jinfrey sidestepped, jammed his dagger into its jaw to wrench it open, and with perfect timing tossed in a small furball. Arthur, light it up, he yelled. Already on it came the reply, and the second the furball was in place, an arrow was loosed. A perfect shot, piercing deep and lodging the arrow straight into the monster's gullet. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing happened, and Arthur's nerves began to fray, but then Jinfrey calmly started a countdown. The second he hit one, the creature's body swelled like a grotesque balloon and then just exploded. Turns out the fur from a downy bat absorbs damage, then unleashes it with triple the power. A notification pinged, the fighting spirit buff had expired, and with it, the stomach debuff was finally cleansed. The shattered remains of the salamander crashed to the ground nearby, and the system confirmed the kill, flooding him with experience points. With the battle won, they ascended to the summit to rendezvous with the others. The moment Jinfrey saw them, his radiant halo vanished. Brother Phryna cried out, her voice filled with worry. He didn't waste any time delivering the grim news before stepping toward his sister and presenting their father's sword. His whole body trembled, fighting back tears as he choked out the words, "the salamander." It coughed this up. His sister immediately pulled him into a powerful hug. "This isn't on you," she whispered. "You fought so hard." At that, the dam broke. He wept, openly sobbing that it was Jinfrey who had truly done it. Her gaze immediately snapped to Jinfrey, who was kneeling in the dirt digging with his bare hands. It clicked for everyone at once he was making a grave. They silently joined him, Phryna's own tears now falling freely as they built a stone cairn, placing the sword in the center to say their final goodbyes. Jinfrey stood apart from the group, watching Arthur, and finding himself lost in a painful memory of playing with his own sister as a child. And the moment their mother burst into the house with devastating news, Phryna's voice snapped him back to the present. "I need to thank you," she said, her voice heavy with emotion, "for my father and for Arthur." He just brushed it off, saying he hadn't done anything out of the ordinary. "Arthur can handle himself," he added. The guy shook his head. "I'm not a fool. I know exactly how skilled you are. If you hadn't been here, I'd be dead." "No cap," Arthur confessed. "You're way stronger than the stories say. It's unreal." Jinfrey quickly shifted gears. "Look, our biggest problem is still waiting at the very top of this mountain. The creature that rules this entire continent is up there," he warned. "A steel bear." Phryna's face hardened her grief, morphing into cold resolve. "I'll kill it," she vowed. With their new purpose set, they began the climb, cutting through any monster that dared block their path. They finally reached the volcano's peak, scanning the desolate landscape for their target. Suddenly, the lava in the crater began to boil violently, and an enormous column of fire erupted into the sky. The whole squad could only stare as a nightmare emerged from the inferno, a massive 3-headed level 50 steel bear. Its special skill was called Steel Waves, and all 3 heads unleashed a synchronized bone-shattering roar. The sound was physically painful, forcing them all to clamp their hands over their ears. They knew instantly that this beast was on a completely different level, and then a chilling voice rumbled from the creature itself. "Have you come," it laughed, "to offer me your deaths? Everyone fall back now," Jinfrey commanded, his words, immediately validated as the bear unleashed a torrent of scorching breath. Phryna saw the central mouth gathering flames and screamed, "Do what Jinfrey says, get to a safe distance." She broke into a full sprint, but then froze, realizing Jinfrey was still standing there. "What is he doing?" she shrieked in terror. He simply gave a trademark smirk before the monster's firestorm completely engulfed him in a blistering inferno. The rest of the team scrambled behind a barrier as the tidal wave of heat washed over them. When the blast subsided, Arthur couldn't see Jinfrey anywhere. "Jinfrey," he screamed into the thick, choking smoke. The bear chuckled, a deep, menacing sound. "It seems one of your friends wasn't fast enough." In that heat, not even ash remains. The party emerged from cover, their hearts sinking, believing he was gone. But our MC isn't so easily taken out. As the smoke finally cleared, the bear's triumphant laughter died in its throats. There, in the exact same spot without a single scratch, stood Jinfrey, looking very much alive, and leaving the 3-headed beast utterly stunned. That phoenix meat he scarfed down earlier, it just saved his life. The fire protection kicked in, and somehow, Jinwoo made it out alive. He just smirks, taunting the monster like, "Is that all you got?" The bear stares him down, realizing this dude is something else. Arthur is losing his mind with relief while Phryna is just shook, wondering how he even survived that blast. There's only one way he could have tanked that hit fire resistance, and that's exactly why our boy loaded up on all that meat. Chowing down on 50 units of phoenix meat grants you fire resistance for a solid 7 minutes. It's not perfect immunity, but it slashes the damage down to almost nothing. but now he's on his last legs. Pushed to the brink, he can finally activate his trump card, the Divine Speed skill. He whips out his dagger, his stats skyrocket, and the bear actually grins, admitting Jinwoo's no pushover. This is the most fun it's had in ages. Just then, the entire volcano starts to tremble. Turns out, the monster unleashed a skill, blasting the whole area with a wave of superheated air. A system notification flashes, the fiery waves have inflicted a burn status, and now their health is ticking down every single second. Freyna screams for everyone to get behind the rocks. If that heat warps their armor, they're going to take a ton of extra damage. They scramble for cover, and Arthur thinks to himself that they came prepared for the volcanic zone with everything they needed. But surviving the environment is one thing, beating this demon is another. And through it all, Jinwoo is cool as a cucumber. Thanks to his fire resistance, the burn status is barely scratching him. Our MC looks the beast dead in the eye, telling it he was ready for this. The steel bear scoffs, saying Jinwoo's built different from the other humans. He actually thinks he can just tank its fire. If you're that arrogant, it snarls, it's time you learned a lesson. The flames around it erupt as it plunges back into the molten lava. One of the party members whispers, "It's starting." Jinwoo, meanwhile, just braces himself. His eyes are glued to the bubbling lake of fire, his mind focused on one thing, tracking its every single move. Without warning, the massive beast erupts from the flames. Its claws slice through the air inches from his face, a special attack. He throws up a desperate block. The shockwave alone slams into the party's cover, and Freyna can't believe its insane speed. The monster glances back at him, a wicked look in its eyes, and says that a move like that can easily be turned against him. Now he's got Jinwoo's attention. The beast then leaps fully from the lava, announcing that this is all getting a little boring, so it's time to shake things up. It sinks back into the fire, its voice echoing, "Think you can parry this?" The voice is now coming from underground, totally freaking out the party. Arthur yells over, "Jinwoo, what the hell is happening?" Jinwoo tunes him out, closing his eyes to concentrate. Suddenly, the bear bursts from the ground right behind him, lunging for the kill. The party screams, thinking he's done for, but he sidesteps the ambush perfectly thanks to his mana detection. Everyone's jaws are on the floor. The beast is just as stunned. Our MC slowly turns sizing up his enemy, realizing how quickly it's calculating its next move. "Not bad," Jinwoo says, calmly. "Too bad I know your whole playbook." The bear roars back, telling him not to get cocky. That was just luck. It vanishes back into the ground, its voice promising that his luck is about to run out. "You can keep defending, but you'll never get a chance to strike back." Jinwoo just smirks. "Less talking, more fighting," he says, getting into his stance. With mana detection, he can pinpoint its location. With divine speed, he has the reflexes to counter. He closes his eyes and tells himself to just remember. He's run this simulation 1,000 times before. The ground beneath him begins to crack, and Arthur starts to panic. But when the bear explodes from the earth, it's shocked Jinwoo isn't there. He's already launched himself into the air, diving straight down at it. He brings his dagger down in a devastating arc. The attack is so sudden, the beast barely even registers what's happening. And then our boy drops the coldest line imaginable. "Who said I wouldn't have time to counterattack?" The beast is literally speechless while Arthur is screaming about how sick that was. The monster just points a claw at him, seething. That was one attack. "Don't get ahead of yourself. You are not getting in my way." That line throws Jinwoo for a loop. He's never heard it before. As the beast dives back into the lava, he forces himself to focus, knowing now is not the time for questions. He has to pull it together. The second the monster bursts from the ground again, Jinwoo lands another perfect critical strike. Cursing, the beast thinks, How did he know exactly where I'd pop out?" Jinwoo cracks a smile, thankful for his battle instincts. And right on cue, the dagger's poison finally kicks in. Feeling its power drain away, the bear goes berserk. The MC calmly explains, "You're not the only one who knows, you have 0 poison resistance." He continues saying he has no problem exploiting an enemy's weakness, since that's literally how you win a fight. A squad member just mutters, "He's an absolute monster." Freyna thinks about how even massive raid parties are terrified of demons, yet Jinwoo is standing here with unshakable pride. Jinwoo taunts his enemy one last time, "You better hurry up. Soon you won't even have the strength left to attack me." Because of the poison, it isn't going anywhere. Driven by pure rage, the bear lets out a final deafening roar, and the entire volcano begins to erupt with him. "Don't tempt fate," he warned, just as another blistering wave of heat slammed into the squad. Arthur yelled for them to keep their distance. Freyna commanded a full retreat, otherwise the inferno would incinerate him. They had to pull back to a safer position. The young warrior was gutted, unable to fight at his side, while the enraged beast unleashed a colossal torrent of fire from its maw. The monster recoiled, stunned that its flames had 0 effect. A flicker of panic crossed its eyes. This fire-breathing was just the warm-up, our hero realized. Things were already going off script from the game. "What power was that?" the bear demanded. "How did you sense my attack?" He shot back with a smirk. "A little late to be asking that now, isn't it?" The demon just chuckled darkly. "That knowledge won't save you," it hissed. "You can't possibly handle us attacking all at once." Jennifer's face went pale. This wasn't part of the plan. A wave of dread washed over the squad. Then, the impossible happened. The bear blurred, splitting into 3 identical monsters, and our hero could only stare in disbelief. Okay, he thought, his heart pounding, this definitely wasn't in the game. With that, the 3 clones dove straight into the molten lava. He observed that even with triple the numbers, their attack patterns were identical. But knowing what's coming and stopping it are 2 different things. This was going to be tough. Suddenly, a demonic voice echoed from right behind him, snarling, "You're first." He spun around instantly. As a beast erupted from the ground beneath him, he threw himself sideways, barely dodging the crushing blow. He realized his foresight skill was the only thing keeping him alive, but he was on a razor's edge. One more hit, and it was game over. Just then, a second beast lunged at him. He dodged again, a desperate leap, thinking this entire fight was an absolute powder keg. "Thanks for the entertainment," the lead bear sneered. "Don't you worry. Your pathetic little friends will be joining you in death soon enough." He tried to focus, but a third demon materialized directly behind him, roaring, "It's over." Jinwoo had no time to react, but Freina did. A flash of Arctic light, and she blasted it with a cold explosion spell. A massive shard of ice impaling the demon's paw. She stepped out from the shadows, her voice dripping with contempt. 3 on 1. A little pathetic, don't you think? And who are you calling worthless? The demon teeth bared in fury, launched itself at her, screaming, "I'll kill you." But our hero was already moving. In a blur of motion, he intercepted the attack, delivering a clean, fatal strike. The demon's head went flying. Jinwoo turned to the girl. "Consider us even." A grim smile touched his lips. "Now, let's finish this. 2 to go." A system notification flashed. Active skill Inner Sense has been triggered. 1 steel bear has been defeated. Arthur pumped his fist into the air, screaming with joy. It worked. At the center of it all, our protagonist stood, panting, weapon in hand. 2 left. The thought had barely crossed his mind when the next steel bear vaulted toward him, roaring in fury. "How dare you kill my brother?" The protagonist pivoted sharply as the bear closed in its voice, a guttural threat. "I'll tear you to shreds." In that split second, our hero raised his sword, preparing for impact. He braced, blocking the ferocious assault. Behind him, Freina was already weaving a magical sigil, shielding herself from the shockwave. He glanced over his shoulder. "You could have just used your ice magic, you know," she scoffed, her fire magic flaring. "My fire affinity is way higher than my ice," he pressed. "Are you sure you're okay at that range? Won't the heat waves get to you?" She confirmed she had a protective buff active, but admitted it wouldn't hold for long. "Got it," he replied. "Don't move an inch." In the next instant, he activated divine speed, rocketing towards the dungeon boss. "Take this," he yelled, running past the beast and straight towards Freina, before suddenly plunging his weapon deep into the monster's chest from behind. The beast could only choke out a strangled what before the system alert popped up. Active skill Inner Sense activated. The second steel bear was defeated. Our hero stood over its corpse, turning his head slightly, a thought nagging at him. The poison should have killed it, yet one of them somehow survived and slipped away. His eyes scanned the bubbling crater of lava. He turned back to Freina. "I've got it from here. You need to get to the safe zone." "Wait," she insisted. "Let me give you a hand. It's time I showed you my solar flame ability." She cast a brilliant magical symbol over him. The system lit up. "Thanks to solar flame, your attack power has been tripled. Fire resistance has been massively boosted, including equipment resistance. Triple my attack and fire resistance," he thought, feeling the power surge through him. She held up her hand, revealing the glowing sigil on her skin. "This buff means I'm locked out of casting anything else for a while. This is all the support I can offer. I won't get in your way now." With a nod, she turned and walked towards the exit. He smiled. "My thanks to you, Master of Flames." Meanwhile, deep within the lava, the last steel bear seethed. "Damn it," it growled, clenching its claws. "I let my guard down. I'll just recover my strength down here. Then I'll grind those insects into paste." At that very moment, a voice cut through the molten rock. "How much longer are you gonna nap down there? Don't you think it's time we finished this little game of hide and seek?" The bear looked up, and standing right before it was the protagonist, and screamed in disbelief. "Wait, this is magma. How could a normal person even get down here?" But our hero just gestured as if to say, he's fine." The demon was shook, thinking, "There's no way. A mere human can't possibly take me down." And in that exact moment, our protagonist diced him into a million pieces. Up above, the rest of the crew huddled by the crater's edge, one of them yelling in terror. "It's an eruption." Freina stared into the abyss and corrected him. "No, that's..." But before she could get the words out, Arthur screamed Jinfrey. Just then, Jinfrey vaulted over the edge and the team swarmed him, shouting, "Is he okay?" Jesus cried out, his voice laced with panic. "Is it over?" The guy next to him yelled. "Someone get a recovery potion over here." Now another demanded. "It's done," Jinfrey confirmed. Arthur pressed him. "The demon, is it really gone?" Jinfrey nodded. "Yeah." Arthur immediately whipped his head towards Freina, calling out sister. She looked back at him, her expression questioning. "Yes." He continued. "Maybe. This can be a tribute to Father too." In the next instant, system windows materialized before their eyes, announcing level 50 Steel Bear has been defeated. Rewards and experience have been distributed. A sly smile crept onto Jinfree's face. Excellent. He was already thinking about that sweet 800,000 gold reward. The system notification detailed the loot. Reward, 800,000 gold. 1 hard bear claw. S rarity. 1 huge bear fang A rarity. A rare claw and fang. Jinfree thought exactly what he'd been hoping for. That's when Freyna turned to him asking, Jinfree, how can we possibly thank you? Arthur jumped in. For real, without you, we would have been toast. We wouldn't have even made it to the summit. The gratitude was pouring off him, but Jinfree just waved it off. No need to thank me, it wasn't all my doing, Freyna insisted. Well, given that we worked together, I honestly feel ashamed taking any of the reward for killing that demon, she confessed. He replied, Don't be. You absolutely earned your share for the buff you cast on me. It was a game changer at the end. She smiled, thinking to herself, maybe without my help, he really couldn't have pulled it off. Then her eyes flicked to the system window as she added, but I still want to give you something. From the items I got, here a medium homothermal stone B rarity. Jinfree's brain short-circuited. Wait, what? Then, his face lit up. Awesome. She just stared at him, completely baffled. He jabbed a finger at his own system window and proposed, You want to trade this for my hard claw? Her eyes widened in shock. Trade, but you can only get this item on this continent. Jinfree just spread his arms wide, saying the homothermal stone was way more valuable to him personally. But, if you're sure, she stammered, then I don't mind. I can just give it to you. He perked up, his voice full of excitement. For real. He then grabbed the system window, his mind racing. Holy crap, I actually got the homothermal stone. Freyna watched him, thinking that this guy was a total enigma. Just then, a system alert popped up. You sense Freyna's favor. A wave of sympathy washed over her. She smiled as she watched him. But from behind, Jesus glared, muttering with pure irritation. Damn it. Another system alert flashed. You sense envy. It was obvious Jesus had a thing for Freyna. Jinfree thought, this is getting awkward, but then he remembered his prize. The main thing is, I got the homothermal stone. Next stop, the City of Desires on the second continent. Sometime later, he was standing on a bustling city street. So this is it. He had arrived on the first great continent. In the central city of Robbery, Freyna stood before him, noting that it was their first time back home. Since everything that went down with their father, she suggested they should meet up again soon. Arthur stepped forward. Jinfree, I'm going to train like crazy so I don't fall behind. Seriously, man, thank you for everything. Jinfree just gave a slight nod. Yeah, sounds good. After they said their goodbyes, he headed off in the other direction, his mind already on his next move. He couldn't believe how easily he'd scored the homothermal stone, the very item he needed to come to the first great continent for. Even with all the memories from his past life, he was thrilled that everything had lined up so perfectly. First things first, he wired some money to his family. Target locked. After trekking through the wilderness, he finally stood before the massive rift, bridging the first and second continents. The crowd buzzing around the gate was losing it. Yo, isn't that the guy who soloed the demon? No shot is that actually him. Basic alchemy gear, check. Everything was falling into place. But just as he was prepping his inventory, a holo screen popped up. System alert, first demon subjugation confirmed. The game officially recognized his victory. Next stop, the second continent. He stepped into the portal, his body dissolving into pixels of light. The bystanders gasped. Whoa, he actually warped. Did they hallucinate that? Nope. In a blink, he materialized in the heart of the second continent, the city center, also known as the Prison of Desires. He shoved a hand in his pocket, cool as ice. Touchdown. Immediately, a system window flashed in his face. New message received, Amelia. He scratched the back of his neck, totally confused. Huh. How is she reaching me all the way out here? Her video feed flickered onto the floating screen. Hey, big bro. He leaned in, concern washing over him. Amelia, is everything okay? I don't know how to say this, she stammered, looking absolutely terrified. I just saw the bank notification. That is an insane amount of cash. Where are you? What did you do? Her voice trembled. Please tell me, it's not illegal work. He waved his hands frantically. Whoa, chill. No. He bit his lip. He was keeping the whole dangerous adventurer life on the down low. If she or mom found out he was risking his life, they'd freak out. Suddenly, Amelia's voice cracked through the speakers. Hey, are you listening to me? He softened his expression. Yeah, I'm here. It's totally legit work, I promise. She sighed relief, washing over her, but then her face darkened. It's about mom. She's not doing well. The call ended. He slumped onto a nearby bench, the weight of the world crushing him. Her treatment bills are going to be astronomical. He couldn't stall any longer. He needed a miracle. Suddenly, he overheard two guys chatting nearby. We gotta hit the auction house. Word is they're selling some rare loot. A high elf tier. The protagonist's ears perked up. A high elf tier. He quickly pulled up the item database. This is it. An elixir containing the essence of a universal panacea, it could cure literally any illness. It was basically non-existent on the second continent. But if he could snag it, Mom would be saved. The auction was his only shot. But this is where the whales play. A high elf tier is going to go for millions. Getting his hands on it would be a total nightmare. Doesn't matter. He has to get in that bidding war. But first, he needs capital. Serious capital. Cut to the snowy plain. A rank E dungeon on the second great continent. He trudged through the drifts, scanning the white horizon. Usually high-level dungeons are the meta for gold farming, he muttered. But he had a different play. A sly grin crept across his face. Bingo, he spotted a level 62 stray cat wandering the snow. He reached into his inventory. Got just the thing for you. He held out the trash loot he'd grinded on the way over. The cat's eyes went wide, locking onto the treats in his hand. It let out a happy purr. The protagonist dropped to his knees like a servant, offering up a snowy plain vine, a vibrant red flower, and a frozen fish. All for you, your highness, he cooed. He pointed to the red flower. That one makes a super plush bed. 5-star comfort. So, do we have a deal? In a flash, the happy feline dropped a glimmering coin into his palm. System alert. Item acquired kitten's gold coin. Rank A. Description. A sparkling token that doubles all gold drop rates. The cat clamped another coin in its teeth. The protagonist extended his hand, hardly believing his luck. For me, you're too kind. Internal fist pump. Yes, with the kitten's gold coin active, I'm absolutely broken. He inspected the coin. It was a hidden mechanic, rewarding players who vibe with the cats instead of fighting them. Now the real grind begins. He went on a rampage. Loot. 80,650 gold. Bam. Another stack. 152,000 gold. He was printing money. After wiping another mob, he checked his stats. He'd soloed the dungeon boss too. The payout was insane. 1,111,000 gold times 2. That should cover the entry fee. The system tallied his haul, total 12,664,000 gold. He smirked. It was enough for the auction. But why settle for enough? He needed a safety net. Back in the city, he strolled into a dimly lit building. The VIP area of the casino. The air smelled of desperation. This was where greed went to die. A lawless zone where morals were checked at the door. Here it's eat or be eaten. These people would sell their own mothers for a single chip. Suddenly a loud cheer erupted from a nearby table. Boom. Another win. Who can stop me? The guy swigged a drink, eyes wild. He was a known loser, a perennial failure. But tonight he was on a heater. The system pinged. Target Entei. Current holdings 10,220,000 gold. Source cheating. The protagonist narrowed his eyes. Look at this clown, he thought. Winning dirty. All right then. I'm gonna drain him dry. Entei spotted him staring and sneered. Yo, what's up, fresh meat? Think you can take me? Don't go crying to mommy when I clean you out. He's feeling himself right now. The MC struts up, laughing it off like, hey, take it easy on a newbie, alright, first time here. Yeah, right. He scans the rulebook, download complete. Meanwhile, the staff is watching him like jackpot. Fresh meat. Another sucker for the grinder. Antoine flashes a greasy grin. No sweat, man. Just a little roulette to warm up. I'll take that action. I'm already up 10 million today. Ping system alert. The house is dirty. MC thinks. Called it. These clowns are gonna cheat. Honestly, it's kind of cute. Welcome to the queen of the casino. 2 balls, 2 numbers. Double the risk, double the glory. Hit one number, take half the pot. Hit both, double your money. Missed everything. Bets ride and we spin again. No copying numbers locked in. Antoine slaps the felt. Let's roll. Ladies first. MC doesn't hesitate. Red 36, black 8, 10 million gold. Antoine freezes. Excuse me, the dealer's brain short circuits. Did this kid just say 10 million? MC leans over, elbows deep on the table. You guys deaf, or do I need a megaphone? Red 36, black 8. 10 million on the table. Clock's ticking. Balls slowing down. You don't call your numbers before it drops, you forfeit. House rules. He dares him to call it. Can he even speak? Meanwhile, the worker is sweating bullets. What the hell, is this a glitch? Why did he pick the exact numbers we rigged? MC smirks. Cat got your tongue, game's almost over. Antoine shoots a desperate look at the dealer. Help. Do something. Say the numbers. He's screaming internally, totally losing his cool. But here's the kicker. Thanks to Divine Halo, MC reads them like an open book. He knows the script before they say a word. The dealer isn't just a croupier, he's a hunter using sniper eye. A pro skill to manipulate the drop. Then clack clack stop. The crowd gasps. Impossible. 36 red, 8 black. A perfect match. MC crosses his arms, looking bored. Guess it's my lucky day. See, he knew the dealer signaled the winning numbers to the shill beforehand. He just intercepted the signal and beat them to the punch. Antoine explodes. You gotta be kidding me. That's impossible. The floor manager steps in. Manager I. The boss demands answers. Then the worker points a shaking finger at the MC. He's a cheat. He rigged it. Nobody guesses a 10 million gold drop perfectly. 1 in a million shot, huh? Oliver clasps his hands, smiling that fake corporate smile. Well then, maybe we should discuss this in my office. MC feels the vibe shift instantly. Oh, they're all in on it. Then the mask drops. Oliver points. Grab him. Make him squeal. Boom, MC flips the table before they can blink. Chaos erupts. A goon lunges from behind. Don't you dare, wham. MC chops his neck. Lights out. Next target. The dealer pulls a bow. Antoine flashes a knife. Die, you filth. MC spins. Crack kicks Antoine in the face. Only crook here is you, pal. He dusts himself off. Who wants seconds? Oliver's smile vanishes. Damn, this kid is a tank. A trembling lackey stammers manager. Wait. He points. That face. From the news. That's the rookie who set the initiation record. Number 33. Oliver's blood runs cold. Is it really him? It is. He's already on the second continent. The guy who soloed the steel bear in record time. Why is a monster like him here? Oliver drops to his knees, head on the floor. My deepest apologies. We didn't know. He's bowing, but his mind is racing. If it's him, we can't win a fight. We are absolutely cooked. MC flashes a demonic grin. Oliver sweats. How can we make this right? Glad you asked. MC leans in, whispering like a nightmare. I'm taking every dime in this vault. Oliver shrieks. Everything. MC pulls up a system window. Oh, and I need a VIP pass to the auction. Oliver chokes. The auction too. Small price to pay for calling me a cheat, don't you think? MC's eyes gleam? Pay up. He pivots cold as ice, dropping the ultimate threat. Refuse and the Public Security Association pays a visit. Nobody wants that kind of heat, right? Oliver shrieks, totally breaking. He gets the message loud and clear. Send it all, every dime. Cut to the digital underworld. At the elite Second Life auction house, our MC checks his HUD grinning. He secured the bag today. With luck, that high elf's tear is coming home with him. He takes a seat, savoring the victory. That stolen invite was his golden ticket. He breezed past security to snipe the one item he actually needs. Back in the real world, Oliver is on his knees, spiraling. Oh God, he cleaned me out. Literally zeroed my account. Suddenly he snaps his head up, eyes wide. Boss. Up on stage, the auctioneer waves a hand, soaking up the spotlight. Sorry for the delay, folks. Let's get this show on the road. He teases the crowd. Tonight's lineup, absolutely legendary. 11 treasures glow behind the glass. First up, a massive greatsword radiating power. A collector's dream, the host booms. Rank A, rarity. He gestures to the blade. Bidding opens at 2 million gold. But our MC isn't looking at swords. He's running the recipe for his mother's cure in his head. 3 impossible ingredients. The High Elf's Tear, from the 6th continent's hidden dungeon. The Ice Tokamera Fang. And the Ancient Red Earth. If the RNG gods are smiling and all 3 are here tonight, he wouldn't have to grind for them. He could finally breathe. Then something catches his eye. Pure dragon sake. If he snags that too, he's set for life. The host's voice cuts through his thoughts. Next up, the Ice Tokamera Fang, dropped by an S-rank nightmare on the second continent. Starting at 50,000 gold, MC doesn't hesitate. He taps bid. Okay, we have a bid. Price jumps to 100,000 gold. Accepted. Wait, he didn't bid that. Someone just doubled him instantly. MC whips around stunned. 100 large for a fang. Who is this guy? It's Oliver. He smashes the bid button again, sneering. Oh, look who it is. The humble servant returns. He's not here to buy. He's here to grief. He won't let MC take a single thing without a fight. MC realizes. Did he steal the funds back? The High Elf's Tear is the main event. MC has to conserve his stash. That's the priority. He holds back. The gavel bangs. Sold. The Blue Snake Guild takes the fang. For 1 million gold. The room erupts in whispers. It's true then. The Blue Snake Guild is in the house. The server's biggest whales. The most powerful faction on the continent. If they want it, it's theirs. Bidding against them is just burning money. MC clenches his jaw. He knows the score. They have infinite pockets. Reputation unmatched. Beside Oliver, Simon Bloodberry leans in. That's the guy. Oliver nods, sweating. Yeah, he heads the casino department. Total moron, but he's gonna ruin that kid. Oliver adds, salty as hell. He only got in here because of that invite. We can't let him exploit the system. Simon smirks. Is that so? Well, I'm not about to fold to some random player. Especially when my guild runs this city from the shadows. Time to teach him a lesson. The host points to Lot 7. Ancient Red Earth S-rank rarity. Found only on the 3rd great continent. We start at 7 million gold. MC tries his luck. The host gasps. Whoa, a massive jump to 50 million. Blue Snake Guild flexes again. Oliver throws in a bid just to be petty. He's quadrupling the price. MC stares, disbelief written all over his face. He knew they were rich, sure. But this kind of cash, quadrupling the bid for fun, and sold. Blue Snake sweeps the board. They bag the Ancient Red Earth for a record-breaking sum. Oliver glares at MC, laughing maniacally. The system pings, "Warning, a worthless soul is attempting to troll your bids." MC starts sweating. Getting that high elf's tier just went from hard to impossible. His opponent isn't a person, it's a mega corporation. Winning a bidding war is a pipe dream. Wait. Unless he tries to snipe another item. And once again, the Blue Snake Guild dominates. Mermaid Scale sold for 40 million. Bloody Assassin's Knife taken for 20 million. And then the knockout blow. Pure Dragon's Sake. Sold for 300 million gold. MC grinds, his teeth furious. It's a slaughter, a total shutout. Not even an angelic halo could save his wallet now. Oliver points a finger right at him, cackling. "You absolute clown, you can't beat a guild with one man's pocket change. Victory is mine." The protagonist let out a dark chuckle, declaring, "Guess I'm the only one with a brain in this room." The auctioneer threw his arms wide, soaking in the tension. And now, the main event. The final lot of the night. Legendary, for its ethereal radiance. We're talking about the single most breathtaking artifact in existence. A treasure that's stolen countless hearts. Lot number 11. The Tears of a High Elf. Opening bid, 50 million gold. The protagonist didn't hesitate. 500 million. The crowd gasped. Opening at 500 mil, that's insane. The protagonist crossed his arms, eyes locked on the prize. "I didn't come this far to lose. Let them try to block me this time. If they even can." Oliver scoffed, clearly irritated. "Doesn't matter. End result's the same. I'll just bury him in gold." He slammed down his bid. The host's jaw dropped. Unbelievable. The Blue Snake Guild offers 1 billion. Hold on. The gavel hovered. They've hit the cap. Blue Snake can't bid any higher. Oliver shrieked. "Excuse me." The protagonist smirked. "Serves you right." The host looked nervously at Oliver. "My deepest apologies, but the Blue Snake Guild has maxed out their purchase limit." Oliver roared. "Purchase limit? What kind of nonsense is that?" The host raised a hand. "House rules, sir. Maximum of 5 successful bids per party. You've already swept 5 items. To prevent a monopoly, you're locked out." Oliver slammed his fist down. "That is the dumbest rule I've ever heard. I'm a regular here." First, I've heard of it. The protagonist knew why this wasn't a normal auction house. It was a pop-up event. A rare gathering run by the adventurer community. Basically, a hidden quest most people missed. The anti-monopoly rule was absolute here because the loot was so god tier. He should have known better. Clearly the guy did zero research on this place. The protagonist shook his head. Total noob. "Do you understand, sir?" Oliver kept screaming. The host cut him off. "And time. Sold to the gentleman with the halo effect. The high elf's tears are yours for 500 million gold." Applause erupted. The protagonist crossed his arms annoyed. "Seriously, stop calling me Halo Guy." Oliver was fuming. "That punk played me. He thinks he can look down on me. I let him slide at the club, but I'm done playing nice." "You're dead." He pointed a trembling finger at the protagonist. Mana crackled around his hand. The guy behind the protagonist shrieked, "Holy crap." The protagonist sighed. "What a moron." He stood up, fists ready. "You want to throw hands? Let's take it outside. This is a public space. Don't drag innocent bystanders into your mess. You want a piece of me? Fine. The street is waiting. Cancel that spell now." Internally, he panicked. "This is bad. If I hit him back, I might accidentally kill him." Oliver sneered. "You fool." Suddenly, Simon's voice cut through. "Leave it." Oliver froze, but Sir Simon kept his cool. "If we start a brawl here, the entire adventurer community will turn on us." Oliver protested, "But if we walk away, our guild looks weak." Simon turned his eyes cold. "I don't repeat myself. We are leaving. Now. Move." Simon strode out. Oliver hung his head. "Yes, sir." Later, the protagonist slumped in the hallway, checking his interface. Well, that was chaotic. Still, a smile crept onto his face. He secured the high elf's tears. He figured that other guy probably grabbed the other panacea ingredients. "I just need to raid the dungeon now. If I hustle, I'm good." But losing the pure dragon sake stung. Man, that sucks. It's super rare. You can only get it from that nightmare quest on floor 5. That booze would have unlocked the secret gear way faster. He sighed. Whatever. Those jerks ruined that plan. Suddenly, a shadow fell over him. It was Mira. "That light above your head. I've never seen an aura like that." He looked up, startled. "Who's the girl I know? We haven't been introduced," she started, so pardon the intrusion. "But what's your beef with the Blue Snake Guild? Do you know the Guildmaster?" "The Guildmaster," he echoed. "The long-haired guy from before. That's him. He runs the Blue Snake branch on the 2nd floor." The protagonist waved his hand dismissively. "Never met the guy. That was just personal business." "Who are you anyway?" She smirked. "Just an adventurer. One who happens to be hunting the Blue Snake Guild." Ping. A system notification popped up. "Mira is investigating the Blue Snake Guild per the adventurer community's request." The protagonist froze. "A community request? Hold up. That chick is from the League of 8. We're talking the elite of the Elite 8 S-rank legends personally approved by the community." They take requests from other adventurers and rake in massive bounties. Basically, they have it all: skills, clout, and stacks of cash. The League of Eight. Hadn't heard that name drop in a minute. Way back. I cleared a dungeon and hit their rank just for the lulz. Looks like they've finally left the building. Shouldn't she follow them? She said she was bouncing, but paused. Hey, quick question. Where did you snag that halo? She put her hands on her hips, striking a pose. I stared at her, shook. Does she know about the secret gear? That kind of loot is straight up contraband in the adventurer world. If I get exposed, I am toast. Gotta deflect fast. I scratched the back of my head, playing dumb. Well, that's. Right on cue, the system pinged. Enthusiast equipment detected. Mira's eyes were glued to my special gear. She wasn't suspicious. She was obsessed. That halo is adorable. I need one. She kept staring like a creep. What? Is there something on my face? I threw my hands up defensively. It's a long story, trust me. She stared a beat longer, then closed her eyes and waved me off. Whatever, I'll figure it out myself. And just like that, she bailed down the stairs. Cool, I mumbled. Watching her leave, my mind was racing. Enthusiast gear in the League of Eight. That's wild. Just one conversation, and I knew she's a veteran. Her vibe is way beyond a normal S rank. As she walked away, she glanced back. Never seen gear like that, not even on floor 7. Who the hell is this guy? Cut to second floor Moonlight Wasteland. An A-rank dungeon. I stood over the corpse, and the system flashed the victory screen. Defeated level 80, giant goblin boss. Yes, I cheered. Loot drop time. Ding goblin thief glove. A system window popped up with the stats. Rank A. Ability: I can stun an enemy and swipe any item right out of their inventory. Yoink. The grind is going smooth. My main target is the Ice Tokumaru Fang in the S-rank dungeon. But first, I need one last hidden piece. I looked ahead. Time to make these guys talk. I spotted my marks: Oliver and the Blue Snake Guildmaster. I need their pure dragon sake to unlock new items. Tracked them with spell detection. Now I'm just stalking them, waiting for a slip-up. I glanced at a tree nearby. Wait, is Mira here too? Of course. She's hunting the same prey. Suddenly, she peeked out from behind the bark. She was thinking I'm tailing Blue Snake, but what is Mr. Halo doing here? Is he watching us? My eyes widened. Did they just walk into a wall? Seconds later, inside the Blue Snake Guild's secret hideout, Simon was drooling over a flower, while Oliver spread his arms, grinning like a maniac. Master, check out this harvest. If this didn't save their bank account, they were definitely finished. With this stash, we can jack up the prices, Simon said. Oliver beamed. For real. We'll recoup all our losses. Get the crew to harvest everything. That's when I chimed in. So gardening is your side hustle, I smiled, holding one of their flowers. They spun around, terrified. How did he get in? Oliver clenched his fists, raging. Damn it, were you following us? I stayed cool. This flower, the Moonlight Azalea. It's a magic booster. Don't play dumb with me. You know exactly what this is. This stuff causes hallucinations. Worst case, death. It's strictly banned by the community. Why are you farming poison? They stared in silence, sweating. Simon finally spoke. Are you a Fed? An agent? I waved my hands. Nope, not a narc. Just give me the pure dragon sake, and I'll pretend I never saw this little garden. I know you won it at the auction. What's it gonna be? I crossed my arms, waiting. Oliver started charging mana in his fists, screaming. The audacity of this brat. Zip. In a heartbeat, I was behind him. Mira watched from the bushes, thinking. A fight. She couldn't hear the dialogue from her spot. I smirked, resting a heavy hand on Oliver's shoulder. Relax. I'm not here to bully you. I'm here to negotiate. I'll pay fair market value. Deal. I want to buy the pure dragon's sake. Simon scoffed. We can't sell that to you. Seriously, I sighed. That sucks. I really didn't want to snitch. But I guess the adventurer community needs to hear about this beautiful illegal farm. Oliver snaps, ripping out his blade and screaming, Don't you look down on me, you little punk. But right then, our main character sidesteps the strike like it's nothing. Flash of steel. Call it self-defense. Slash. A clean hit to the jugular. Mira freezes. One shot. She's never seen a dagger move like that. Simon steps up, scoffing. Ugh, what an annoying pest. Got some nerve messing with the locals, kid. But hey, dead men don't snitch, right? Right. He unsheathes his blade. Ping. The system flags the threat, Simon. Master of the Blue Snake Guild. Floor 2. Level 97. Class Swordsman. Our MC just grins. I hate wasting time. Let's speedrun this. Mira settles in, hungry for a front row seat to this show. The two fighters lock gazes. Tension spikes. Simon lunges. Clang sparks fly as steel meets steel. The MC feels the impact instantly. This guy's stats are way higher. They bounce off each other, resetting. Then boom, they crash together again in a blur of strikes. Mira recalls the forum rumors. That's Jinfree, the rookie adventurer, who smashed records at the initiation ceremony. His combat instincts are insane, but raw power Simon's in a different league. The fight rages on. MC leaps back, boots carving up the dirt. Simon sneers. Does he know he's just a noob? Kid's hopeless. What is he trying to die? A martyr chase? Some posthumous clout? Our boy stands tall. I don't care about dying or being a hero. I've just got goals to crush. And I'm not quitting. Simon swings wild. Shut up. Only losers monologue during a fight. You're all talk. The MC guards against the barrage effortlessly. Simon falters. Wait, what is this? It feels wrong. He never thought he'd have to burn a cooldown skill on a scrub like this. Simon roars in frustration. Mira gasps. She sees it now. Is he fighting with his eyes shut? He is. Eyes tight shut, parrying every strike perfectly. Mira's mind races. Can he sense mana flow? She's never seen tech like that. And he's not popping any artifacts. So it must be a passive gear stat. Clang. Another parry. The MC grins. Got it. System alert. Lucifer's Halo 3rd skill unlocked. Mira shields her eyes against the sudden glare. A radiant light crowns his head. What is that? Okay, here's the deal. To unlock the Halo's 3rd form, you need to grind the secret stat, spell detection, to a max level of 252. You level it by deflecting hits in real-time combat. High risk, high reward. And just like XP, the stronger the enemy, the bigger the stat boost. Back when he fought the first Demon Lord Jin free, farmed enough points to edge close to the limit. The MC smirks. Usually takes weeks, but thanks to this high-level brute, easy farming. Suddenly his eyes snap open in shock. Shklick. Simon drives his blade through the MC's chest from behind. Rookie mistake. Never lose focus, you pathetic puppy. You thought you were tough. You overestimated yourself, kid. It's a big world. There's always a bigger predator. Suddenly, a voice comes from behind Simon. Arms crossed, chilling. So, mister, who's the predator now? Simon freezes. How the hell is he alive? He whips around. How? A skill. An artifact. The MC tilts his head. Why the long face? You falling asleep on me. Mira senses the glitch in reality. Simon stares at the floor, watching the dead body dissolve into smoke. Impossible. I felt the steel-cut bone. Thunk. A blade erupts from Simon's own chest. He gasps, looking down. Wait. He got me. I didn't move an inch. What is this? He reaches out, jaw slack with horror. What did this kid do to me? He claws at his own face. Mira watches, totally lost. Why is Simon screaming at nothing? The MC smirks. It's the new toy, Lucifer's Halo 3rd skill, Fantastic Illusion. He whispers, didn't you say the world was a big place? System spec skill, 3 Fantastic Illusion. Effect. Triggers. Hallucinations upon eye contact. Cooldown 72 hours. Yeah, I know, he mutters. He glances over. Oh, it's you. Enjoy the show, Mira flinches. He knew I wasn't stalking you, she stammers. I was tracking them. Ah, right. Official association business, she adds quickly. I can bust them for the illegal Moonlight Azalea farm now. The MC waves, walking away. Perfect. Have fun with the paperwork. He decides she can handle the cleanup duty. Watching him walk away in silence, he suddenly stops. Bam, fist hits palm. That's it. The most crucial detail nearly slipped his mind. He summons the system interface. Pop-up, Goblin Thief, glove rank A. He slips the glove onto his hand. The system chimes in immediately. Goblin Thief, glove rank A. Description loading. Steal 1 item from any stunned enemy's inventory. Jackpot. He reaches toward Oliver's unconscious form, a wicked chuckle escaping his lips. Sorry, not sorry, buddy. Consider this payment. Yoink. He lifts the prize, pure S-rank dragon sake. Perfect. This belongs to him now. With this bad boy, the second Demon Lord is toast. Just hang on a bit longer, Mom. Suddenly, he feels eyes on him. Mira steps up, locking eyes with him, intense and unblinking. He shoots her a look. You got beef. This loot is 100% legit. She shuts her eyes, sighing. Nope. No issues here. I bet it's totally above board. He shrugs and keeps moving. All right then. And he's out. Mira watches his back as he exits to the door. During the brawl, he didn't trigger any special item vibes. And looking at the kid, you can't identify a specific class skill either. So what was that flashy show earlier? Maybe it's that floaty thing hovering over him. If he was using banned hacks, that would be a huge red flag. But that is not it. It wasn't just some gear she has never seen. Jinfree. That rookie is definitely built different. Cut to second floor, Second Life Tavern Shop. Our MC steps up to the entrance. Okay, showtime. He checks his inventory. With this pure dragon sake, he can snag a secret piece of gear. Suddenly, the door flies open. Bam, a guy storms out, screaming his head off. Does he think sucking up will get him anywhere? Legendary blacksmith. My foot. Just a cranky old geezer. As they stomp off, our hero watches them go, analyzing the situation. This blacksmith won't give you the time of day without a tribute. He steps inside, flashing a winning smile. Yo, old-timer. Whoosh. He instantly holds up the bottle, blocking a flying hammer and screwdriver aimed right at his face. Clang. The smith grumbles. Great. Another moron. Quit disturbing my workflow, kid. Beat it. You can't afford my rates anyway. MC thinks to himself, yep, hasn't changed a bit. Tover yells, hey, you can't just waltz in here. The protagonist leans against the doorframe unfazed. He grins, hear me out. He puts his hands up but Tover cuts him off, screaming to keep his name out of his mouth and leave. MC flashes the bottle. Shame. And here I brought this top-tier booze. Tover freezes. That. How did a scrub like you get your hands on pure dragon's sake? Hand it over and get lost. Tover kicks him in the shin. MC winces, thinking, the heck, and yells at him to chill. He holds the bottle out of reach. Tover is jumping like a kid. Put that down, give it here. Internal monologue. Usually the walkthrough says, to hand over the sake, get the smith wasted, and boom, S-rank gear. But I am playing 4D chess. He pulls up another item. System prompt Shining Stone, rank B. Check out this Shining Stone. Dropped by Phryna after the Demon Lord raid. Tover gasps. What? Cut to, they are sitting at the table. MC pours a shot. Drink up. Tover starts bawling his eyes out. My late wife, she loved this stuff, especially warmed up with a shining stone. MC nods. Exactly. He has heard this sob story a million times in-game. He refills the cup. Just gotta keep this going. This triggers the secret event. Regular sake gets you S-rank, sure, but I know the hidden meta. Combo the dragon's sake with the shining stone warmth. That crafts the hidden tier gear. Tover wipes his snotty face, screaming, I was such an idiot. If I had just listened, my wife would still be. MC thinks, if I don't stop him, he will rant all night. Fade to black. Next morning, Tover grins, pointing a finger. For that divine rice wine, I made this. The gear is his. Jinfrey grins. Thanks, old man. Now he sees why they call him legendary. Secret gear number 3, secured. System ping armor skanda boots. Rank unknown. Stats, dexterity, +20. Durability, 5,000 out of 5,000. Skill, 1 free movement. Passive player ignores terrain penalties. Skill, 2 lightning speed. Active teleportation. Range 100 meters. Limit 5 uses daily. Skill 3, currently unknown. Unlock conditions unmet. The protagonist nods, satisfied. Sweet, let's roll. Speedrun mode activated. He's about to blitz the second floor's Nightmare Grace Castle. But before the clock starts ticking, Tover chucks a flask through the air. Catch on the house. System ping, non-alcoholic heated sake. Item, Taste of Legends. Rank A. Brewed by the legendary blacksmith himself, using dragon ingredients. Effect instant, very warm, stat buff. Tover jabs a finger toward the ominous gate. You're really doing this, soloing an S-rank MC just nods. Yup, thanks old man. MC steps out, leaving the forge's warmth behind. Tover watches him go, eyes narrowing. Kid's gotta be a beast, but he better watch his back. The Ice Demon Lord plays dirty. Cut to, the towering frozen gates of Grace Castle, second floor S-rank territory. Other players stream in, bundled up in heavy furs, while our boy starts shivering immediately. Brr, freezing my tail off. Time to crack open Old Man Tavor's parting gift before hypothermia hits. He pops the cork and down the hatch it goes. A satisfied sigh escapes his lips as the heat spreads. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. System log status applied. Very warm. Duration, 100 minutes. Nice, he thinks. Who needs a parka when you've got magic booze? Suddenly, the peanut gallery behind him starts murmuring. Yo, look at his fit. Is he trying to freeze to death? Disrespecting the mountain man. And what's with that weird halo? Total noob behavior. 0 winter gear. Must be broke, probably couldn't afford the resistance elixirs. System alerts him to the trash talk. MC rolls his eyes, salty about the comments. Rude much, mind your own business. Time remaining, 1 hour, 59 minutes, 45 seconds. MC glances at the countdown, ticking away in his vision. Gotta hustle. This S-rank dungeon has a strict 2-hour death clock. If that timer hits 0, force teleport. And the penalty isn't a slap on the wrist. Say goodbye to half your golden gear. He's eaten dirt enough times in this game to know that pain. No way is he grinding for cash and loot again. He steps forward, sensing the air. Heavy magic density ahead. The area around the Demon Lord's castle is crawling with other players, but he needs first dibs on the boss room to snag the Ice Dokkamera's fang and craft the medicine. Meanwhile, a squad ahead is struggling. Dude, I can barely lift my legs. We keep moving this slow. We'll time out before we even see the gate. But before his partner can finish complaining, boom, a massive beast blocks their path. Level 82 Canicula. The adventurer raises his weapon, voice cracking. Are you kidding me? We're screwed. We'll never make the castle in time. He spins around to his teammate. Cast a shield, you idiot. But his partner isn't listening. He's staring up at him. Our MC. Floating past them effortlessly. Hands in his pockets vibing. Man feels good to be airborne. Literally skywalking. System check, skill activated, free movement passive. The map is his playground. Suddenly, roar. 2 level 82 beasts lunge at him mid-air. MC casually draws his blade. Sorry boys. I'm on a schedule. // He cuts through them like butter. Monster chunks start raining down on the party below. The ground team watches, the carnage jaws dropped. Wait, isn't that the squishy noob from earlier, the guy with the halo? He's floating. Is he a ghost hunting stupid players? They clasp their hands together in terror. RIP to us. Even a random monster next to them joins the prayer circle. Beep, system notification, MC grimaces. If this thing pings me one more time, I'm gonna smash the interface window. A few moments later, he looms over the Demon Lord Ormond's fortress. He touches down. Made it. 5 minutes flat. Not too shabby. He glances down and freezes. What the it's Mira, just casually strolling up to the main gate. What is a heavy hitter from the League of Eight doing in a dump like this? Hunting for secret loot. If she gets in my way again, I won't go easy on her. Still, it doesn't add up. Why is an elite player here? She should have cleared this dungeon ages ago. Mira raises a hand, tracing the glowing inscriptions on the massive doors. She's thinking. Rumor has it someone infiltrated the castle. Dangerous move considering the Demon Lord is home. Plus, the 2-hour death timer applies to everyone. But whoever she's tracking, he might be the exception. Crash MC watches in awe as Mira just obliterates the gate. Okay, that was sick. System alert player has entered the Demon Lord's castle. MC tails her immediately. Classic League of Eight power move. He inspects the wreckage. Incredible. She toasted the locking mechanism completely. That lock usually takes forever to pick. Talk about a free ride. But his luck runs out fast. He spins around. You guys again. Time to bounce. Skill 2 lightning speed active. He vanishes into thin air. Range 100 meters. Limit 5 uses daily. In a blink, he vanishes into thin air. The monsters crash into each other, clutching nothing but empty space while he materializes safely at the gate. The system pings. Location Demon Lord's castle. Main keep 9th floor. Corridor to the frozen room. He pivots, pumping a fist. Yes, the skill dropped him exactly where he needed to be. Next stop, floor 10 and the Demon Lord's chambers. But first, he's got to smoke the mini-boss guarding the frozen room. He grins. First time testing the shadow boots, might as well aim for a speedrun record. Cut to Demon Lord Ormond's Annex 7th floor. The frozen room. Agonizing screams rip through the icy air. Terrified victims cower against the walls, hands raised in surrender. One stammers, "Master, please. How can you do this? We're a team." The system HUD flashes red above the killer Garuda. Timer, 1 hour 26 minutes 7 seconds. Garuda levels his blade cold-bloodedly at the trembling man. How? Because you're wasting my time. Garuda Swordsman, Class Guild, Master of the Blue Snakes, swings his blade in a vicious arc. You dare make me wait. Splat. A critical hit. The system updates immediately. Garuda updated timer, 2 hours 42 minutes. And 36 seconds. He grits, his teeth annoyed. Does this cover the loot I missed because of you morons? Or the cash? The next victim presses his spine against the ice wall, shivering and sobbing apologies. Listen closely, Garuda sneers. A worthless life is a sin. The useless have to die so they can finally contribute something to me. He slashes without hesitation. Down goes another one. Garuda updated timer, 4 hours. 21 minutes 58 seconds. He swings his bloodied weapon toward the next adventurer in line. No, please master, I don't want to die. I'm begging you. The plea falls on deaf ears. Slash. System update, Garuda timer. 8 hours, 7 minutes, 13 seconds. He smirks, wiping his blade. Pathetic. Your lives are barely worth a few extra hours. He glares at his subordinate. Is this the whole haul for today? It's not enough. The lackey stammers, sorry boss, I'm recruiting as fast as I can, but the next batch needs time to get here. Garuda points the tip of his sword right at the lackey's throat. You want to take their place then? I'll find more, right now. The subordinate screeches, scrambling away in the opposite direction. As he runs, his mind races. Killing players extends the timer. Just how many months does he plan to stay in this dungeon? How many have to die? Back in the room, Garuda broods. That bastard Simon. Ever since the 8th floor mistress caught him, everyone's been headhunting high rankers to crush our guild. Let them try. Even if they track me down, I've got the time advantage. Grace Castle is the perfect hideout. Meanwhile, back at the main keep 9th floor, inside the frozen room, the MC performs a mid-air backflip, dodging a claw swipe before countering with a lethal slash. He soars higher. Aerial combat is totally sick, he thinks. This gear is next level. But something nags at him. What was that magical spike earlier? Felt like it came from the second Demon Lord's penthouse. But that energy in the annex, that felt way more dangerous. It's bugging him. But eyes on the prize, the Demon Lord comes first. He dive bombs, landing a crushing blow that shatters the ground. He spins around, scanning the carnage. Nice. That was the last one. Time to handle the mini-boss. Suddenly, the door creaks open. The MC instantly shoots up, sticking to the ceiling shadows. He watches the intruder, Mira. Right, that's the signature. A magical aura stronger than the Demon Lord himself. She nearly busted me. How is she that fast? Below, Mira scans the empty hall. Where are the monsters? Weird. Suddenly, boom. 2 level 92 snow golems manifest right behind her. She glances back unimpressed. Mini-bosses spawning already. She whispers, summon Sylph. A shimmering wind spirit materializes at her back. From the ceiling, the MC's eyes widen. A spirit summon. Only top-tier mages have that kit. Mira extends a hand mana condensing in her palm. Sorry, she mutters. I don't have time to play. She unleashes a torrent of raw energy, then violently clenches her fist. Crack, a massive electric shock pierces through the golems. The MC is stunned. She just one-shotted 2 mini-bosses. Simultaneously, she's in a totally different league. Mira dusts off her hands and heads for the exit. The MC watches the stairs materializing. Those only spawn when the boss is dead. That's the path to the Demon Lord. Mira steps onto the stairs. Guess I have to check every single corner, she thinks. Next stop, the annex. The MC exhales from his hiding spot. She's hunting for someone specific. Phew, dodged a bullet there. Looks like she's bailing on the boss fight. She spins around, paranoia spiking, swears she felt eyes burning into her back. Just her imagination. Nah, she's trippin'. Mission first. Meanwhile, our MC pulls up to the massive entrance doors. Ormod's castle, main keep, 10th floor, the ominous hallway leading straight to the boss room. He palms the heavy door and shoves it open. Inside, a nightmare. Adventurers skewered on massive ice spikes like twisted trophies. He catches Ormod lounging on the throne and flashes a cocky grin. Been a hot minute, hasn't it? Meet the second Demon Lord Ormod. Ping. System check second Demon Lord Ormod. Level 100. Special ability Death's Peak. That's a nasty 20% stat nerf for anyone foolish enough to step inside. Ormod sneers. What kind of stray dog wandered in this time? You'll look great added to my collection. The MC scans the frozen corpses dangling around the room. 0 magic signatures. They're all gone. Wait. One's clinging to life. Just barely. Suddenly the kid gasps out a warning with his dying breath. Run, too late. Razor-sharp ice shards scream toward the MC's face. Just like the game's opening move, he thinks. But after that Hellbrus fight, he knows these bosses can go off script now. Ormod reaches out, eyes glowing. You pests have 0 talent, but damn you taste good. He cackles, dark energy swirling around him like a storm. Place has been busy today. You make number 10. Haven't feasted this hard in ages. He licks his lips hungry. The guy stuck on the ice trembles. The pressure. It's crushing. We were idiots to challenge this monster. Ormod snaps his hand toward the MC. Dinner time. But the MC blurs past him. System alert. Skanda boots. Skill 2. Lightning speed active. 3 charges left. A bloody gash opens on Ormod's cheek, silencing his laughter. The survivor's jaw drops. How? How is he that fast? The MC just digs a finger in his ear, bored. You talk too much. That didn't even sting. Ormod laughs it off, ice frosting over his wound to seal it instantly. Smart for a snack? He smirks. Fine. Let's call this a warm-up before the main course. Ice rains down from the ceiling like missiles. Boom. Smoke clears to reveal a massive frozen mountain in the center of the room. Impossible to dodge. He's toast. Suddenly a chilling presence right behind him. A blade drives through his chest. System centipede skill 1 keen gaze. Weak point hit triple damage. Ormod drops to a knee wheezing. What the hell? Didn't even see him move. It's not natural speed. He's being buffed by something external. MC stares down at him and sighs. With 3 pieces of secret gear, this guy's a joke. Gotta wrap this up though. Can't kill him yet, need to force him to summon the Ice Tokamara first. He charges in for round 2. Ormod yanks a dead adventurer in front of him as a human shield. He cackles, cruel and desperate. Bet you can't strike now. Sure, he's dead meat, but you heroes are soft, right? What a moron, MC thinks. Cat got your tongue, Ormod jeers. Ice puppet corpses jerk into the air. The survivor watches in horror, his friends turned into zombies. Ormod snaps his fingers. Kill him. The frozen dead rush the MC. Never saw this move in the original game. It's just like the Hellbrus fight. The AI in this world is evolving. Ormod's eyes shift to the survivor still hanging on the wall. Oh look, a straggler. He charges a blast of magic. Found you. Slice MC blurs past, chopping Ormod's hand clean off. He points at his own chest. Hey, eyes on me. Ormod screams in rage. You cursed brat. System alert, deadly poison applied. HP drain 10 points per second. Desperate Ormod roars, summon Ice Tokamara. Boom. A level 99 Ice Tokamara materializes. MC stares it down. Finally. Took forever to bait that out. He lunges at the beast. Ormod cackles. Suicide run. Is he too scared to think? Then the notification pings. Target eliminated level 99 Ice Tokamara. Ormod gawks at his shattered summon. MC checks the loot window and grins. Bingo. Acquired Ice, Tokamara's Fang. But he checks his timer. Centipede buff is dropping below 500. Clock's ticking. Timer check 493 out of 1500. He looks the Demon Lord dead in the eye and, with zero hesitation drops the bomb. Sorry, buddy, I can't play with you anymore. The demon rages. What are you then? MC just glances at his weapon. System chimes in. Prerequisites met. A holographic window pops up right in his face. The third centipede. Skill is finally unlocked. Centipede of unknown rank. Strength rating 66. Duration 493. Out of 1500. First skill, Keen Gaze. Active. Deals triple strike damage on weak spots. Second skill, Speed. Passive. Boosts agility 10 times. Catch as it only kicks in when he's at death's door. Skill 3. Still reading as unknown. Meanwhile, Garuda is busy taking out the trash. One of the survivors crawls out hand extended begging, "Master, please." Garuda just picks his ear looking bored. "You guys are so loud. Nice scenery here. But this daily slaughter grind is getting exhausting." He lazily points a finger at the survivor to finish him, but suddenly, whoosh, a massive gust of wind blasts the weapon right out of his grip. Mira steps out of the shadows. "So this is where you've been hiding." Master of the Blue Snake Guild, Garuda. He stares at her, genuinely shook. She steps closer, reading his rap sheet. Murder, human trafficking, fraud, hoarding contraband items. The list goes on forever. And right then, Sylph is chilling, hugging her from behind. Mira scoffs. "Killing your own minions just to stay off the radar. Pathetic." She snaps her fingers. Summoning Water Spirit, Undine, Fire Spirit, Ifrit, and Wind Spirit, Sylph. The whole squad appears behind her. Garuda's sweating now, thinking spirits are top-tier entities. "And she just summoned 3 at once," he stammers. "Who are you? Did the community send you?" She flashes her badge. "League of 8 orders. I'm taking you in to the adventurer community." Back to the main event. MC checks his blade. System confirms. Conditions met. Centipede Skill 3 is live. He thinks I've been waiting forever for this. The Demon Lord screams, completely losing it. "Don't mock me. You're just an animal. I won't eat you. I'm going to shred you until there's nothing left." He hunches over, channeling massive energy into his back, until crack, giant wings of ice burst out. He launches into the sky, cackling like a maniac as he dives toward the protagonist. It's always more fun to watch you suffer from above, but suddenly, MC floats up right next to him. "You know what? You're right. Great view." MC smirks at the shocked demon. "Especially watching a moron like you." The demon spins around, furious. "Enough of your arrogance." He focuses dark energy into his palm, condensing it into a massive ice trident. Internal monologue screaming despair, he swings the weapon, roaring that he'll slaughter anyone in his path. But MC weaves through the attacks effortlessly. Centipede's third skill melting. System breakdown Skill 3 is melting. The blade turns to liquid magma, capable of shifting into any shape. Duration, 48 hours. MC thinks, a sword that melts and reshapes on command. Combined with my techniques, the potential is literally infinite based on my imagination. The demon laughs maniacally, shouting, "Keep dodging, I'll make your death slow and painful." But before he can finish his villain monologue, his eyes go wide. MC is winding up, rocketing straight at him. The demon raises his trident to block, but MC unleashes Gate of 1,000 Poisons, slicing the creature clean in two. MC thinks, that's a new speedrun record for a Demon Lord kill. System update: second Demon Lord Ormid defeated. Congratulations, player. Dungeon cleared. Time remaining 1 hour, 21 minutes and 35 seconds. MC smiles, looking at the dissolving monster. Excellent. Set a new time record. Just then, the survivor kid stares at the protagonist, trembling. Is he alive? Did he just solo a Demon Lord? System chimes in. Richard, time limit expired. Poof, the kid vanishes. MC watches him go. He'll probably spawn back in the city. He's safe, and hey, at least he survived. Now, for the loot. System report: Ice Chimera Fang S rank. Description: Fang acquired from an Ice Chimera. Usable ingredient: MC studies the holo window. Okay, solid drop. Now all I need is the ancient red soil. Get that and I can finally brew the cure for Mom. Suddenly, he yells, "What the hell?" The whole ground starts shaking violently. Meanwhile, Mira is going all out on the guildmaster. Garuda grins, dodging. "I see you've got some fight in you, girl." She commands Breath of Fire. Ifrit blasts a flamethrower stream straight at Garuda, but he parries it with a sword swing. Mira doesn't flinch. She points forward, dead serious. Torrential Wave. The spirits swarm in for the kill. Garuda's blade cleaved through the defense with terrifying precision. Watching from the shadows, the main character analyzed the scene. Is this the level we're dealing with? That guy's blade work is legit. He's definitely not some random chump. Could that be the guildmaster? Mira's hunting Garuda, casually slung his massive sword over his shoulder. "You want to come out and play?" He expected a challenge from a Legend of the Eight. Major letdown. Hoisting his weapon, he scoffed. "If you're gonna come at me, put some back into it." Raw energy crackled around his blade as he charged. "Whirlwind strike," he roared. The impact seemingly diced Mira into ribbons, leaving the protagonist wide-eyed. Garuda rested a hand on his hip, completely unimpressed. "That's it, man. What a snooze fest." Those spirits were just cheap parlor tricks. Then a voice cut through his ego. He's clueless. He can't even comprehend the massive gap in our levels. Garuda froze, scanning the area in confusion. Who said that? Suddenly he spotted Mira, perched casually on the second floor railing. Garuda, the washout from the 8. He whipped around, jaw-dropping. How are you alive? He figured it was just an afterimage. She continued. He got kicked out of the community and chose this pathetic life of crime. Maybe he needs a lesson on how to really attack. She unleashed a wave of energy. Garuda gasped, his mind racing. That sound. It can't be, she chanted, summoning. Heavenly spirit Kirin panic set in. A fourth spirit, impossible, and the floor is drenched in water, a fatal combination. Wait, stop, he screamed. She glared down coldly. Did you stop when your victims begged divine command? In a split second, a barrage of elemental energy skewered him. He let out a blood-curdling scream before collapsing in a heap. Mira landed gracefully beside him, a fitting end for trash. The protagonist gulped. Damn, she is absolutely terrifying. Note to self, do not anger her. Suddenly, her gaze snapped to his hiding spot. Enjoying the show. Jin Woo. He stepped out, rubbing the back of his neck with a nervous chuckle. Busted. She totally clocked me. He shrugged. Look, I wasn't trying to stalk you or anything. She waved it off. You didn't get in my way. So we're cool. She had been in his shoes once. He paused. Wait, her mission. So that guy really was the master of the Blue Snake Guild. She brushed past him, sensing the air. I don't feel the Demon Lord's presence anymore. You handled him, he nodded. Impressive. Congrats on the win. Anyway, I'm on a tight schedule, so catch you later. Fate would probably cross their paths again. She vanished toward the exit. Later, at the Adventurer Society headquarters, Garuda was locked up tight, rotting behind bars. Nyx beamed at the sight. Mira really came through. We got him. Stellar work, Mira. She accepted the thanks. The Blue Snake Guild is finished. This will send a loud message to every other criminal syndicate out there. She nodded. Glad to hear it. But Nyx noticed her distant look. Something on your mind. It's not about the mission, she admitted. But there's this one guy, an adventurer, I just can't get out of my head. Nyx blinked in surprise. Meanwhile, the MC materialized at the teleporter. Scanning the horizon. Level 3 achieved. He shielded his eyes from the glare. Once I take down the Demon Lord here and snag that last ingredient for the panacea. But first, priorities. The system pinged Centipede. Rank unknown. Strength rating, 66. Durability, 299 out of 1,500. He gripped his weapon, frowning. If I try to throw hands with the third lord using this, it'll shatter instantly. Durability is trash. Time to upgrade, he smirked. The fourth secret weapon, a bit later on the third floor. Central City, third ward, the Flying Dragon Hotel. The receptionist glanced up at the protagonist. Welcome. Need a room for the night. He stepped forward with a knowing smile. Yeah. Single room. Specifically the third one from the north, fourth from the west. The clerk's eyes went wide. Code accepted. Understood. Hope you enjoy your stay. Descending the hidden stairs, the protagonist felt relieved. Thank God I memorized that cheat code from the special event. Back on the 5th floor. Suddenly, an arena came into view. System alert 3rd floor. Unknown. Dungeon rank unknown. Underground fight club. The boxing legend himself, Mayweather Inoue, turned and grinned. Oh, fresh meat. Get your ass in the ring, kid. I'll show you real pain. The protagonist analyzed him. This guy hasn't changed a bit. I used to think he was just a generic NPC, but the dude is actually a beast. Snagging that secret gear is going to be a nightmare, but he's got this. Suddenly, the announcer hype begins. Today's main event. Undefeated Titan Inoue versus the total amateur Jin free fight start. In the red corner, towering at 184 centimeters. And a massive 127 kilograms. He's batting a perfect 1,108 KOs in 108 rounds. The boxing god himself, Inoue, and in the blue corner, standing 173 centimeters and weighing 68 kilograms. The dark-haired, blue-eyed rookie Jin-free rules are simple, no weapons allowed. Winner is decided. After a 3-minute round. Score points by smashing those invisible hitboxes on your opponent's body. High score takes the gold, or first to hit 100 points, triggers an instant win. But watch your footing if you hit the mat once. It's game over. Fight. The bell rings, and Inoue launches a massive haymaker right out of the gate. He's coming straight for our boy Jin. Drops into a guard, mind racing. This guy's speed is insane for a tank like that. The announcer screams lightning jabs from the champ. The rookie is on the ropes, but he's holding his ground. Jin parries another strike. But I've got the cheat codes. He knows Inoue's AI always targets the high-value point zones early in the match. Speed doesn't matter if I can read your mind. Boom, the commentator yells. This kid's got moves. He's dancing around, the champ's death blows. Jin sees his opening. Now. A crisp right hook. He fires, Inoue blocks, but the system pings. Time check, 2 minutes. 27 seconds. Jin free, 1 point. Inoue 0. The crowd goes nuts. First blood to the rookie. Champ blocked it, but Jin still snagged a point. Inoi scoffs. Heh, really? He thinks that 1 point matters. Cute. Jin fires back internally. Not a chance. You let me have that one, didn't you? Don't sleep on me. Bring the heat. The champ grins. Okay, now he's interested. My turn. Inoi unleashes hell. Kid's got eagle eye, sure, but his stamina bar is trash. Give him a minute, he'll gas out. He rains down blows. Jin keeps his guard up, barely hanging on. Can't attack now. Gotta turtle up. Let him rack up points if I have to. See, this dungeon is rigged. It's a scripted loss event. Inoi's stats buff up insane amounts. With every single point the player scores, Inoi roars like a beast. He's losing patience. He backs Jin into a corner. System update. 1 minute 38 seconds left. Jin, 1 point. Inoi 43. The champ is going berserk. Using endless combos, he traps the newbie. This is it. Inoi lands a crusher. He's running on fumes. Jin creates a shell in the corner. Tanking hits. Winning isn't the point here. I'm gonna lose the match, but I'll win the war. To unlock that 4th gear slot, the mission is survive. 3 minutes. Suddenly, the boxer blinks. He lost track of Jin. The rookie lunges from the blind spot. Inoi's shocked. How is he still moving after that beating? Jin connects. System clocks it. 57 seconds left. Jin, 9 points. Inoi, 51. Jin swings again. Inoi thinks. He's fighting back, huh? Haven't had this much fun in ages. But he's still the king. Focus. Inoi fires back. System ping. Jin hits 13. Inoi at 68. Jin sees the glove coming. Too late. A brutal uppercut to the jaw. OOOH. The champ connects. Is the kid out? No. He's still on his feet. What is this kid made of? Time is melting away. Who's taking the W today? Inoi stares him down. Not bad, kid. But you're finished. He bounces, ready to end it. I'm ending this now. Suddenly, wait, what? Jin smashes him right in the face. Counterpunch. Neither fighter is giving an inch. Inoi wipes his lip, grinning like a maniac. He still tagged me. Fascinating. Jin grits his teeth. You get it now. I'm not going down. The bell rings. Time. Match over red corner. Racks up 97 points, blue corner with 49. Winner Inoi system finalizes 0 seconds left. Jin free. 49 points. Inoi, 97. What a brawl. Can't wait to see the next one. Inoi stands tall, chest out. I gotta give props. Jin free is the first guy to ever last the full 3 minutes in the ring with him. Boxing is soul to soul. And this kid, he's got a warrior's spirit. Take this, the guy insists, shoving the gear toward him. It's a gift. You need it. The MC grabs it without hesitation. Don't mind if I do. As he wraps the mystical cloth around his fist, the realization hits. Bingo. That's the 4th secret piece of god-tier equipment secured. The system interface glitches into view. Item, acquired spiritual bandage. Rank, unknown. But the stats are insane. Power boosted by 150. Durability maxed at 5,000. First perk, fire punches. It's a passive buff that turns his hands into literal flamethrowers, doubling his damage output instantly. The catch. It drains 1 health point every single second. But the second skill, counterattack, is a total game changer. It mirrors whatever damage gets thrown at him. Not just mirrors it, it reflects the pain back 3 times harder. There's a third skill too, but that bad boy is locked behind specific conditions. A beat passes. The protagonist stares down the path, eyes gleaming. New toys equipped. It's showtime. He's deep in the Ghost Ruins 3rd floor of an S-rank dungeon. Danger level critical. As he strides forward, his mind races with the strategy. This place is a ghost town. No trash mobs. Just one target, the Demon Lord. Kill the boss. Clear the dungeon. Sounds simple, right? Wrong. The spawn rate for Jackal is a miserable 0.1%. Most adventurers wander these halls until they burn out just trying to find him. Just endless rubble and 0 leads. It's a trap designed to crush you physically and mentally before the fight even starts. But our MC, he ain't got time for hide and seek. He clenches his fist. Let's speedrun this nightmare. If the boss won't show, he'll force him out. He scans the area. Come out, wherever you are. There, buried in the sand near a crumbling pillar. Found you, he smirks. It's an ancient coffin. He hauls it out of the dirt. He puts on a show of respect, clasping his hands together. Sorry to disturb your nap, buddy, but I'm on a tight schedule. Sarcastic gratitude. Check. He bows slightly before causing chaos. Creak. The lid pops off. Boom, blinding light explodes from the corpse. A pure energy orb pulses inside. It's a dormant soul. Wakey, wakey. He releases the seal. Whoosh. The orb shoots into the stratosphere like a flare gun, and the protagonist tracks it. System alert, skill spell detection triggered. The radar is going crazy. A massive mana signature is incoming fast. A wicked grin spreads across his face. Gotcha. Suddenly, the earth right in front of him disintegrates. From the dust, a terrifying figure rises. Boss alert, the 3rd demon, Lord Jackal. The MC locks eyes with the beast. They don't call the Ghost Ruins the Tomb of Spirits for nothing. The lore runs deep here. Jackal's voice booms like thunder. Who dares disturb the grave? Status check level 150. Ability scales of justice. The MC sizes him up. Jackal isn't just a monster, he's the guardian of the dead. This isn't a random encounter, it's a court-martial. You mess with the graves, you get the guardian. Jackal points a jagged finger. Sinner, you will atone for this disrespect. With your life, exactly as planned. The fastest way to summon the boss is to become a criminal. I am Jackal, the beast roars, posturing. Judge of the vile, guardian of the souls, prepare for judgment. The system hums in the MC's ear. The spiritual bandage is active. Strength plus 150. Ready to brawl. Durability holding steady at 5,000. Jackal raises his golden scales high. Justice. The air warps. He's used scales of justice. Suddenly, the MC feels a wrenching pull. His soul is literally being ripped out of his avatar. Your spirit is trash, Jackal spits. I shall purify it for the heavens. The protagonist drops to one knee, gasping for air. Judgment guilty. The soul slams back into his body, but the damage is done. The system flashes red. Warning, soul defilement detected. All stats slashed by 30%. That's a massive nerf. Now die for your sacrilege, the Demon Lord screams. But the MC, he's smiling. He wanted this. The debuff was the entry fee. The price of skipping the hours of searching. 30% stat reduction, small change for a speedrun. Time to end this, before he pulls any more tricks. Jackal fires bullet sign. Dark energy rounds strafe the ground. The MC weaves through the barrage. Illusions won't work on a boss like this, he realizes. Gotta do this the hard way. Pure brute force. He squares up against the Titan. Another volley of dark bullets screams toward him. The protagonist sidesteps, launches himself into the air, and cocks that flaming fist back. He swings Clang Jackal, summons a barrier Aspis sign, stopping the punch cold. The MC rebounds, skidding across the sand. He wipes sweat from his brow. Okay, that 30% penalty stings more than I thought. He's losing momentum. Suddenly ping, a holographic window pops up. Incoming call Amelia. Amelia, is Mom okay? Distracted Jackal unleashes another hellfire of bullets while his guard is down. He dances through the deadly rain. Can't talk now, he has to crush this boss like yesterday. Jackal charges a massive black vortex aiming right for his head. No more holding back. The MC's eyes narrow. System alert pops up. Spiritual bandage activated. Jackal's eyes widen, totally shook. What is that blazing inferno wrapping around this guy's hands? Stats update, strike power doubled. But there's a catch. HP is draining by 1 every single second. He thinks fire punches. Let's go. He throws a haymaker. And the interface flashes skill 1 fire punch passive. Flames consume his fists, cranking his attack stats up by 200%. But that HP drain is ticking away, like a time bomb. Jackal skids to a halt, dusting himself off. Okay, it does something, he admits. But gotta be real with you. Those flames look kinda goofy. The MC levitates, eyebrows raised. Oh really? He calls the bluff on what sounds like pure cope. Jackal snaps. You yap too much, human. He starts charging up massive energy overhead, deciding right then and there to shut this kid up permanently. MC's senses scream danger incoming. In a split second, Jackal unleashes Night Meteor. A colossal fist made of pure energy materializes, rocketing straight at our hero, blasting him backward and demolishing the entire structure behind him like it was made of cards. Jackal smirks. How's that taste? That's the power of an invisible strike. MC drags himself out of the rubble, analyzing the hit. Never seen that move before. Just as I thought. What is up with these lords? They're moving way differently than the game AI ever did. Suddenly his phone buzzes. It's Sis again. Serious timing, Amelia. I gotta pick this up. He grumbles. Give me a break. He scrambles to his feet. The Demon Lord is baffled. You dodged that, MC shoots back. I don't need your commentary right now. That hit was soft, Jackal scoffs. Sounds like big talk from a dead man. MC drops into a combat stance. Calculating the odds. Fire strike doubles my damage, but my HP is leaking. Gotta speedrun this fight, or I'm cooked. Suddenly, the phone rings again. Are you kidding me? Distracted, an invisible fist slams into him. He grinds to a halt against the pavement. A sinking feeling hitting his gut. No choice, gotta bail. In a flash, he vanishes into thin air. Jackal roars. Where'd he go? Meanwhile, our MC materializes. Across the ruins and swipes answer. Amelia, what's wrong? Why the spam calling? But before he can get a word in, Amelia screams, Jinfrey, where are you? He tries to de-escalate, scanning the battlefield. Chill, chill. What's the emergency? I'm kinda tied up. It's Mom, she sobs. She crashed. The healer says she's running out of time. Tears are pouring down her face. You need to get here now. Just then, Jackal catches up, looming over him, demanding, You think this is a game? Stop running. MC spins around. Dang, found me already. He yells into the phone. Okay. I'm on my way, Jackal growls, robbing a grave and thinking you can just walk away. Have some shame, human. He launches another Night Meteor, but the MC flickers out of sight and teleports right behind him, fist blazing with infernal fire. Sorry about this, MC says, but I've got places to be. It ends now. He unleashes fire punches, but Jackal catches the strike with one hand. Pathetic. You think that little spark can take me down? MC grins. Nope. But despite the Demon Lord's flex, those fire punches are secretly chipping away massive damage. Jackal fires off Night Meteor again. MC weaves through the attack. Fire punches doubles my strength. Time to stack the deck. He activates Spiritual Bandage skill 2 counter-attack. It clones the incoming strike and returns to sender with triple the power. MC closes the distance. Counter-attack, engage. He lands a devastating blow, sending the Demon Lord rocketing backward and smashing into the cliffside. That MC says dusting off his hands is double my attack plus triple your Night Meteor. Game over. System notification pops, defeated Demon Lord Jackal level 150. Loot drop incoming massive. XP 3 million gold. Jackal's S-rank soul. And ancient red soil. Got the mats I need, he thinks. Now I gotta book it home. A bit later, at a village on the edge of the first floor, Infree's residence, MC bursts through the door. Amelia, he scans the room. Mom? His sister rushes to him. The healer shakes his head grimly. It's the final stage of magic deficiency. Those black spots confirm it. She's comatose. MC stares at the bed. Mom. The healer continues. BP is tanking. Magical power is fading. Her heart can't take much more. Even the top-tier healers would call this a lost cause. He looks pityingly at the woman. Amelia, eyes swimming with tears, leans over the bed, sobbing her mother's name. MC puts a steady hand on her shoulder. It's gonna be okay. She's not dying today. Dry those tears. I'm gonna fix this. The healer stares at him, baffled. Excuse me. Amelia looks up hopeful. You can save her. MC checks his stats. I put every single point I grinded into this. System report intelligence, 145 out of 250. Synthesizer class skill level up. Alright, let's cook. He combined the ingredients, grade A, ancient red soil, the lethal Dokamara Ice Fang, and those precious high elf tears. Boom. An SS rank panacea materialized out of thin air. This item was absolutely broken. One sip could purge any illness and fully restore every single status effect. He stared at the glowing vial, adrenaline spiking. I actually pulled it off. The panacea is mine. The healer's jaw practically hit the floor. No way. I've seen illustrations of this in the archives. Is that seriously the legendary panacea? Amelia, Jennifer, it's the real deal, he confirmed. He shot a quick look at Amelia. My bad for the secrecy. I promise I'll spill the tea later. He rushed to his mom's side and gently lifted her up. The synthesizer boosting my intelligence was the key. Now I can craft god-tier items like it's nothing. He had cut it razor-thin burning, precious time grinding for skills and materials, but he made it. With a steady hand, he trickled a few drops of the golden elixir into her mouth. Please, he begged silently. Come back to me. The universe held its breath, and then her eyes fluttered open.